Too long. You're one of my you're one of my favorites here, man. Hold on. Hey, everybody on YouTube. We are kicking off another wonderful night on Spaced Out Radio. And what better way to go into the Christmas break than with the legendary Joedy Cook? I tell you, I met Joedy about 3.5 years ago when I first had him on the show. And let me tell you that, I mean, he is one of the most, in my opinion, upstanding people in this field. There's no bullshit. There's no garbage. It's just whatever it is, man. Let's just absolutely find out what it is. And I'm so excited that he is here tonight. It's been honestly way too long since we had him on, and he's a rock star in my opinion, and I'm excited to get this going. The best part about it is we're talking woo all night, but there's no woo when it comes to this Dogman thing, man. No woo. But even though it is woo, it's weird. It's like a weird combination. Perfect way to end. All right, let's give a rundown before we bring Joedy in of everybody in our chat room so far. Hey, Space Cow, thanks for being number one tonight. Helena Hawk, you are looking lovely and talented. Thank you for joining us. The gorgeous and spirited Alaska's greatest athlete, Emily Bigelow. There she is, everyone. Make sure you give her a round of applause. Gorgeous Renee, you're looking stunning tonight. Paul Johns Tavares, still no Stanley Cup. Gorgeous Steph Dickey, how's Florida tonight? Are the iguanas still haunting you? Have they dropped out of your trees yet? Let us know. Tommy Lee Ireland, how are you, man? The lovely and talented, gorgeous-haired Jessica McCreary, she will be giving hair tips after the show. So look forward to those. And let's see. Hi, Molotov. Good to have you back. Thank you. Hungry Burrito. Always a pleasure. Steam Train Mark. How's tomorrow looking? Please give us an update on whether or not we are alive from the future in Australia. Dirty Filth. Always a pleasure to have you here, brother. Go 66. Boo. There you are. Boss Monster. Good to have you here, my friend. Thank you for coming on in. Solar Warden, appreciate you. Always coming on in. Cat Chaser, thank you so much for joining us once again, my friend. We love you here. We really do. All right, moving on here. There she is, everyone. The lovely and talented Jules. Make sure you give her a wave. She likes to wave back, even though she can't see you. Fast Hemi, good to see you here again, my friend. Nate Foot, there you are, brother. How are you, my man? Good to have you here. Oh, and look who's following Nate Foot. It's the king of the Hallmark Channel himself, Corey Foot. There he is. This man always carries a box of tissues and his cell phone so you can catch him anywhere, anytime watching the Hallmark Channel. There he is. Ask him for a tissue if you need one. Waylon, boom to you, my friend. How are you, man? Bee's Nest, a pleasure to have you back. Fast Hemi, again, thank you for joining us. And Nick N., welcome to the show again. Good to see you. Swamp Monkey, Jim Nicholas, and Yola Tango, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Hi, Anthony. Always a pleasure to have you here. And where did I get stuck there? I think right there. Sir Wolf, good to have you. Olin, welcome back. Am I missing anybody? No. Grendel, thank you so much for the lovely super chat. Really do appreciate your continued support of this show. Thank you so much. Let's see. Gorgeous Kristen Alberg is here, everyone. Vinster, good to have you. Fapperino, hard to recognize you since you changed your picture. Michael Boyle, Cherry Pepsi. I hope it's on ice tonight, my friend. Alan Young. By the way, Mike, I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people you tweeted about. Alan Young, good to have you here. And gorgeous Marie in California. I hope you're keeping warm. King of the Forest, good to see you again. Kyle Evans, a pleasure. Murray F. Spudger, good to have you both here. Thank you. Justin, always a pleasure to have you here, my man. Stargate, thank you for coming on in. Bonjour, Poulet de Bleu. Thank you. Poulet de Bleu. There you are. All right. Reptilian Overlord, thanks for joining us. Project Blue Book, appreciate you coming on in. Awesome Annie Svensson. Edmund, welcome to our chat room. I believe this may be your first time. Stu Gerson, everyone. Stu effing Gerson. There he is. There he is. We love this guy around here. Hey, the Jim Christie. The Jim Christie is here, everyone. He'll be signing autographs after the show, so make sure you line up. $5 a piece, by the way. Beehive Chuckles, good to see you. Chris Jarvis, thanks for coming on in. Bigfoot Michigan Rob, always a pleasure to have you here, my friend. Thank you. Okay, we're going to get going here in about 40 seconds. Hi, Pepper. Welcome to our chat room for the first time. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate that. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. We are literally 190 away now from 10,000 subscribers on this show. 190 away. Please, I want to hit that. That's my Christmas wish list from you guys, is 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. You can get your T-shirts at facebook.com/the SOR Vault. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe. The super chat is open, and we're going to rock it here with Joedy Cook in exactly, let's see here. Let's say 5 seconds. Joedy, you hold on, and we're going to get going right now. Of central British Columbia to you listening around the world. This, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free for you by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. What you want to do is you want to head on over there, make somebody happier, make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Tonight, we got a power show for you. Joedy Cook is the head of the North American Dogman Project. This guy is a hero, a veteran of the United States Army. He fought in Iraq, and, we'll give him a few claps for that because we absolutely love our veterans around here. You know we do. We brag about how much we love them. And, he is also one of the most active Dogman and Bigfoot researchers in the state of Ohio and in the eastern United States and around North America. He's been studying Dogman and Bigfoot since 1991. He's authored a number of books, founded the North American Dogman Project to find more information. He has been part of several TV shows right across the United States and Canada. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Joedy Cook, my friend, you are somebody who I really look up to in this field. And, the one thing that I will say, my dear friend, is every time we need an interview from you, you're like, yep, I'm there. And you know what? We really appreciate that, my friend. Thank you for joining us once again.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Joedy, for a lot of people who may not know you and what you're all about, how did you get on this whole cryptid trek?
Well, to be honest with you, I was a UFO researcher way before I got into the cryptid stuff. This is back in the 80s, okay? So when public access TV was going on, we were doing a live UFO show called UFO Update Live that played in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. And we did a live show the first Wednesday of every month. We always had a guest. We had people call in. And it ran for about 8 years. So towards the end, we are starting to get a lot of people calling in about Bigfoot or some other cryptids connected to UFO sightings. Some of them weren't, but they were just calling and telling us. So the coordinator said, listen, does anybody want to take this cryptid stuff and Bigfoot stuff, because it might be interesting stuff. So myself and George Clapperson decided to go ahead and take that and kind of fell into it and kind of let the UFO field, because there was just so much stuff that was going on in the cryptid field, especially like just here in Ohio. We had Bigfoot, we had the Dogman sightings, we had the Loveland Frogman sightings, we have pterodactyl sightings going on here, a lot of crazy stuff in Ohio, a lot of, like you say, UFO activity, a lot of ghost activity and things. So we decided to take the cryptid stuff and just kind of fell into it and just been doing it for years. The Bigfoot stuff was kind of slowing down. We're getting Dogman stuff, so I decided to, let's try something different. Let's just strictly go to Dogman because this is a very interesting field. There's something about this, and just fell into it. And it's just, started the organization. I didn't expect the organization get as big as it did. We have 800 members worldwide. We have chapters just about on every continent. So we're getting reports all over the world. And like you said, I never expected it to get this big, but it's growing, and it's getting a lot of attention. It's getting a lot of attention from the government. I can tell you that. It's getting a lot of attention with a lot of different places. So it's an interesting field. I can tell you that.
It's your fault, my friend. It's totally your fault for making it grow and making it successful. I got to tell you, when I started in this field just over 6 years ago, I had never heard of Dogman. Now, I had heard of Bigfoot. I had seen Bigfoot right before then. Okay. But I had never heard of this Dogman creature at all. I didn't know who you were. I didn't know who Linda Godfrey was, or anybody. The Beast of Bray Road, didn't know the story. Nothing. And I got to tell you, this is one creature out of everything that I have experienced that I just would not want to come face to face with. I don't know why it scares me so much, but it does. Do you remember the first time you ever heard of this Dogman creature? What was your reaction when somebody said, there's a Dogman out there, right?
Well, the first time I heard about it, I knew here in Ohio in 1972, we had a case that happened in Defiance, Ohio. And it happened on like August 2nd and ran all the way until like August 10th. So the newspaper picked it up, and it was about a werewolf. That's what they described it as, a werewolf. Had a dog-shaped head, had high pointed ears. It was, 7 to 10 feet in length, standing up. And it got to the point where the police was so, they knew there's something was going on. The people were scared, so they had to sit there and kind of calm people down by saying, okay, this thing was wearing clothes, which there was no reports whatsoever of this thing wearing clothes. And it was killing livestock, and it attacked 3 railroad workers like the first night. That was like the initial sighting. So I knew about that, and I was like, man, that was really interesting. Okay, I mean, I was just a kid, but I remember that. That case. And, so you start hearing about the Beast of Bray Road, the Michigan Dogman, the Beast of Land Between the Lakes. That was like the very first thing, like in 1987 is when I heard about the massacre, the alleged massacre that took place at Land Between the Lakes, and with the Dogman there. So that was kind of interesting. So that's really probably what kicked off the Dogman stuff. With me, while I was still doing Bigfoot research, was the hearing about the massacre down there.
Okay, explain that massacre, because many people may not know what that was all about.
Okay, there was a massacre. They call it a massacre. Back, they say it happened in 1982, 1983. No one really knows, because none of the stories are conflicted and so forth. But I talked to like 6 different police officers that swore that they were there when that incident happened. So what happened was, there's a camping area there at LBL, and a family came in. They had a trailer that was hooked up to a vehicle. They unhooked the vehicle. The mom and the son, the little girl, was inside the trailer. The father was outside doing something with the hitch, and apparently this thing attacked him, ripped his arm off, killed him, got into the trailer, killed the mother, killed the son, and the little girl was hidden in the back room, and it went and got the little girl in the back room. Well, there was another family coming down that road in that area and saw the body laying there all bloody and the camper all torn apart. So they went and called the police. The police end up showing up. And at that time, other agencies start showing up and jurisdictions. So there were so many people there. The FBI was even there because the little girl was missing. They didn't know she was missing at the time. But when they were doing the investigation inside the trailer, they found clothing of a little girl, but there was no body. So they end up doing a search for her, and one of the police officers had blood dripping down on me and looked up, and there she is up in a tree. So this is kind of like what started the Dogman stuff, like down at LBL, but everybody knew there was something there. But what's so interesting about this particular case is back in 1979, there was an incident that happened by an individual that saw one kill 2 people. And we have his deathbed confession on tape telling us about this killing that took place by this dogman down there at LBL. Very interesting.
Wow. So how did they know it was a dogman? And look, I'm not doubting you on this, okay? I'm, because you're a much better researcher than I am when it comes to this. But how did they know it was one of these creatures?
Well, the thing about the first initial massacre, no one knew it was a dogman. They thought maybe it might have been a big cat. They thought maybe it might have been a bear. But the damage that was done to the body and the damage that was done to the vehicle could not have been done by a bear or a black bear, at least, which was known to be in that area. And, a cougar couldn't have done what it did. So that was part of the thing that they knew about. But they also knew that since the 1960s, I think it was 63 or 64 is when the government took it over. They knew there was something in that area. Even the people that lived there prior to the government taking control of the land knew that there was something there. So you have to sit there and wonder why the United States government came in and took possession of that area, kicked everybody out, made everybody to leave. The people were unhappy. They forced them all out. The cemeteries are still there. They tore down all the houses, and all of a sudden they make a recreation facility out of it. Well, what's kind of interesting about LBL, when you walk some of the trails, there's these bunkers that's all around LBL. Some of the bunkers have no doors, no windows. Some of them just have a door going in. Okay. And it's like no one knows why these bunkers were even put at LBL. Was it to trying to catch something that was there? Who knows? So, but they knew that there was something there, some type of predator that was in that park.
No kidding. No kidding. Now, Ohio is known for so much strangeness, Joe. Bigfoot, Dogman, the Frogmen, there is... What the hell's wrong with your state? Let's just ask that right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say there's anything wrong with it, but there's just a lot of weird stuff. I mean, there was a guy that he makes maps. That's his job. He's really into the paranormal and stuff, and he wanted to do a map with all the crazy stuff around the country, but there was just not enough stuff going around, so he only made it about Ohio. The map's called Hidden Ohio. It's like 4 feet by 4 feet. You have to get 2 of them because it's back and front, and you get them like on Amazon. But it has like listings every single Dogman sighting, Bigfoot sighting, London Frogman, Betsy, the Great Lake Monster.
Hold on, what's Betsy? What's Betsy?
Betsy is it's a sea serpent, sea monster.
Wonderful.
In the Great Lakes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of weird stuff, and we're like here. I'm in Cincinnati, so we've had within the last 20 years, we've had 10 sightings of pterodactyl type creatures flying between here and Dayton. I've talked to numerous people that have seen these things. And we were actually out on an investigation, Dogman investigation, and we're walking along a riverbank, and we found these huge splats of bird poop that were like 2 feet by 2 feet. I mean, they were just humongous. And so we took the pictures, and we had someone look at it that's a bird expert. He said, listen, yeah, that's bird poop, but he says, I've never seen anything that large. And this was right between Cincinnati and Dayton. So, and they were actually sightings in this particular area, but whatever it was there, it was feeding on the fish and the river there, but it was also pooping all along the bank, the banks there. And it's bird poop. And like I said, I mean, it was like 2 feet by 2 feet. I mean, it was, it was just crazy.
That is insane. 2 feet by 2 feet. That's a lot of bird dookie, man.
That's a lot. And the thing about it, like I said, the bird expert, he when he was looking at it, he was telling us, you see this, you see that, you see this. This is how we can determine that it's bird poop. But he said, something that big, he said, even, in Ohio, we have turkey vultures, which is like the biggest.
Same here.
Predator bird that we've got. He said something like that couldn't even, you're looking at something, just got a wingspan of 20 feet, to leave something like that. So, I mean, it's crazy.
Joedy, at what point did you become a believer of these phenomena?
Well, I've always believed that there was something there. I always had an open mind to it, but the thing that got me, I had a UFO sighting and I had a Bigfoot sighting. And I had one other incident that dealt with UFOs on a military base. I had a Bigfoot sighting back in 93. That was at a military facility where U.S. and Canadian forces were doing maneuvers, and I was a 50 caliber instructor at the time, and we were on the range, and it was on a Friday. Everything's getting packed up. We had ammunition. We're taking it back to the ASP to drop the ammo off, and it was getting late. So if we didn't get there in time, we had to basically sleep with the ammunition until Monday morning. That just was not going to happen. So we decided to go off the road, which is a big no-no in the military reservation, and trying to get there a little bit faster. So the tree line's getting really tight as we're going down the hill. So we decided, okay, let's just go ahead and back up, because we were almost up against two big trees. So, and I'm in the driver's seat, or the passenger seat. We had a driver, we had two other guys in the back. So the vehicle's backing up. So something moved in front of us. Okay, we thought maybe we hit a tree. I mean, it was that huge, and it blended into the environment. And there's this Bigfoot just walks right out in front of us. He was 12, maybe 15 feet away from us. I mean, he was that close. But what was odd, the way he was moving is like he was just glided. He was just gliding on by. And he was definitely a male. He was about 7 feet, give or take, reddish brown hair, extremely muscular, long arms, long legs. I remember looking in his face, very human face, a flat nose, massive jaw, satchel crest on the head, blackish reddish eyes, but the one thing that was kind of odd about him is like the hair on his chest and like up on his shoulders and like on part of his head was kind of gone, and the skin looked kind of flaky, like he had mange or something. And you can see the skin tone, which was, wasn't light, and it wasn't really dark. It was, maybe, in between, maybe, like I say, it was a light color, but not like real like white people white, but almost like a, mocha color or something like that, and he, like I say, just looked right at us as he was walking on by, and we were just kind of like in awe. And I mean, I don't even remember a smell, or anything like that. I mean, the windows were down because, this is in August. So, don't remember a smell. And he just moved on, into the woods. And it wasn't uncommon to have sightings on that base, because of, a lot of people were having sightings, especially in the back area where the field exercises were taking place. A lot of people were seeing them, so there was a lot of reports, and it was nothing unusual to go out and see footprints because, like, the roads were like sand almost, and you would see the large footprints where it would walk down the road. So we had a couple people on that base to have seen it, but no one ever reports it, because you don't want to look like a nut or anything like that. So that was kind of a believer. And, the following year, we're back up there, and we're delivering ammunition out to the tank range. And so the tank range is down in a ravine. Okay. So they're firing their tanks, and all of a sudden, the range master comes out and pulls the red flag up, tells everybody dismount the vehicles and head back. Okay, so everybody gets out of their vehicles. We had to get out of our vehicle. Now we're leaving live ammunition in our vehicle. There's live ammunition in the tanks. Okay, so they're moving everybody out. They put everybody in a building, and they told us, don't go near the windows. Just stay back until we come and get you. So they got us maybe like 45 minutes or an hour later, and said, okay, you guys can go out. And we're like, well, what happened? I mean, what's going on? He goes, well, you guys, with firing on the range, you're disrupting communications with the shuttle. Okay, now take it. We're down in a ravine. There's a highway that's behind us. Okay, that people are going 60, 70 miles an hour. Okay, and, the shuttle wasn't even up. Okay, so it didn't make any sense.
Wow. That's a bad excuse.
Yeah, so the following morning, because that was actually on a Friday too, which was kind of odd. So the following one was Saturday, so everybody gets time off. So we went into the town, and I remember seeing a newspaper article about massive UFO sightings on Friday around the base. So the only thing I can sit there and think of is they knew there was something in the area, and they didn't want to fire to seem hostile, so they moved everybody out. That's the only thing I can think of. And they came up with some lame excuse. So
that just gives me chills, Joedy. That they locked you in a tank in an armored personnel carrier.
No. They locked us in a building.
Or in a building, pardon me.
Yeah, in a building. So yeah, which was trying to tell us that was disrupting communications with the shuttle. Okay, and here we are, in Michigan, and Houston is in Texas, in Cape Canaveral, what, in Florida, right? So these are the people that communicate with the shuttle. So how is what we're doing is disrupting communications? I mean, it just didn't make sense that, but when you're in the military and stuff like that, you don't ask questions. You just
do it. My friend, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, because we are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Joedy Cook, North American Dogman Project. Let's get into what the Dogman is coming up on the mighty SOR. Stay tuned. All right, my friend, we're clear.
Okay.
Damn, that is freaky.
Yeah, that was some crazy shit. Definitely crazy. Wow. Definitely.
I had an awesome conversation today with a First Nations person.
Mm-hmm.
And I was asking him about Bigfoot today. in the area, and because where a couple years ago we actually heard talking, and or the Sasquatch talking to us, much like what you hear on Ronald Moorhead's Sierra Sounds. Anyways, he's like, oh, dude, he's like, I could show you where they are. He goes, and it's only the old ones that stink. He goes, the young ones don't have that stench. It's the old ones. And their reserve where they live is so surrounded by Bigfoot and little people that his daughter, she's just a teenager. She actually won a provincial award here for writing a play about the Sasquatch.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And I'm like, I may actually bring her on the show.
What are the little people?
Little people are like 12 to 18 inches tall. But he called them the little blue people, the little blue men. Said they're all blue. And he goes, I asked him, I said, are they tricksters? And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, they will, if they are hungry or they're just feeling, they're just feeling a little off. He goes, they'll come around and they'll literally switch up everything in your house. He goes, so for instance, let's say you had a pen on your table. Well, the next thing you know, that pen is going to be in the bathroom.
Yeah, they're like pud wedgies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm hopefully gonna be talking to him tomorrow or next week, and I may look to bring his daughter on, or at least do a YouTube special with her for our channel. I think the young lady would be awesome to have that. I really do.
Oh yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, definitely.
Y'all ready for Christmas, buddy?
Yeah. We're doing Christmas over at my mother-in-law's tomorrow and stuff. So stop over and see her, and just being me and my wife here on Christmas Day. So yeah, they got this COVID crap.
I know.
It's just ridiculous.
I know. I got to tell you though, it's I feel bad. My parents are going to be, they live a couple 100 miles away from me, and they're going to be all alone, and it's like, damn, with my mom's health, are we missing the last Christmas that my mother was there? But I should quickly update all of my listeners too. I got the Santa gift. The Santa gift arrived today. So for those, including you, Joedy, who don't know, I've never ordered anything off of Amazon before. And so I signed up for Amazon Prime. I ordered this Lego set of the Titanic for my son that he wanted because he's really into the Titanic. And I hit send, and it's like the package will be there in 2 days. Well, it arrives in 2 days. But I forgot to change the address, and it went to my business partners, who lives about 250 miles south of me. And so I had to get my business partner to meet up with my dad to get the Lego yesterday. And then my buddy Mike drove down from town today. I had to pay him, which I don't mind because he did me a huge favor. I had to pay him to go down to meet up with my dad today to pick up the Lego set. So Santa Claus will be delivering Lego on Christmas Day, or on whenever the hell he gets here. Yes.
There you go.
Yes, I'm happy about this. I'm happy about this. It was almost instant stress. But that's okay. All right, we are 20 seconds away. Thank you, Corey Foote. Thank you, Murray. Thank you, Michael Boyle, Pepper, and Grendel for the amazing super chats tonight. Merry Christmas to all of you on our last show before we take a couple off for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And thank you for the love, support, the thumbs up, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Here we go. second half hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate each and every one of you spending time with us. We want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight we continue on the Dogman Talk. Joedy Cook from the North American Dogman Project. Joedy, how did you get the Dogman Project started? What made you want to get this done?
Well, I was doing a lot of research on it. In about 2006, I decided I'm going to go full-blown Dogman research, because I pretty well got fed up with the Bigfoot field. It just became a clique. You know, it was always the same people at the conferences, speaking at the conferences every year. You know, it's who you know type thing, and it was just, you know, if you didn't have the right last name, or, you know, you weren't somebody's buddy, you weren't speaking at a conference. So it just got to the point that, you know, it like I said, it became a clique, and it was just a big turnoff. So I decided to go straight to the Dogman stuff, because, like you said, I was really getting into it anyhow. So about 2006, I went ahead and started it. I didn't go full blown with it until about 2016. All the research that I did from 2006 to 2016 was just basic stuff I kept to myself, and I just started to do the research on my own, talking with other researchers, and then Adam Davis came on board, and then Dave Jones came on board. So we were just doing research on our own. About 2016, we decided to create the North American Dogman Project. Then we started picking up a chapter here in this state, chapter in this state, and then finally it just blew up. And like you said, you know, we have chapters in Canada, we have chapters in South America, Australia, New Zealand, 2 in Africa, India, Europe, the United Kingdom. Let me see, where's the other one at? Well, like Germany, Italy, France, and Spain. So, I mean, we're getting basically set up all over the world, and, you know, we're getting people who are researchers, we're getting people who are actually field investigators. They're actually going out and getting some really good stuff. And it was kind of hard at first dealing with, you know, when you open a chapter in a foreign country, because like the British and the Europeans, they don't call it Dogman, they call it werewolf. Okay, here in the States we call it Dogman. But, you know, their culture, it's always been a werewolf. So it was kind of hard, you know, it's okay, was it a werewolf or a Dogman? You know, we Americans, when we think of werewolves, we're thinking of like the Lon Chaney 1941 Wolfman, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of hard at first, and then, you know, we figured out basically, look, okay, it's basically the same creature, just everybody has different names to it, you know, depending on where it is. Even in Canada, you guys don't call it Dogman, you call it werewolf. I mean, you even have a stamp, you know.
We like our weirdos here.
Yeah, that, you know, for the werewolf, you know, in Canada. And, you know, we got this one really good story out of Canada, and I'll go to that in a little bit. But we just started the organization. It just, like you said, it just completely blew up to what it is today. And like I said, we're getting a lot of recognition from a lot of people. We had a network came up to us and wanted to do a show. We filmed a couple episodes with them, and when it went back, I guess, and looked at the top people, they're like, man, this is like way too scary stuff. You know, people are not, we don't want people to have a heart attack, basically, is what they're saying. And it's, you know, and I'm like, look, people want to be scared. they don't want to be entertained. They want to be entertained. They're going to watch Friends. If they want to get scared, they're going to want to watch this show. But they were more scared that someone's going to have a heart attack or shoot somebody because they hear something crazy out in their backyard, thinking that it's a dog man. And it's like people aren't like that. It's just go with it. And they didn't want to go with it. So, but we had some pretty credible stuff that we got. And it they won't give it to us. It's their possession of their stuff, but that's why they didn't want to do it.
No way.
No way. They're just they're just for some reason it's very taboo in TV. I don't know why. Every time there's a show dealing with Dogman, regardless if it's on a paranormal show where they have one episode on it, it's always the highest rating show. Terror in the Woods, when they do their Dogman shows, it's always the highest rating. Paranormal Witness did 2 shows dealing with Dogman, and both of them were the highest rating shows out of the whole series. Okay, so they know that people are interested in it, but like the Travel Channel, their biggest thing was they don't want something that's going to outdo Ghost Adventures. It's like Ghost Adventures has been on for like 100 years. It's time for them to go, type thing. But it basically, they don't want to hurt somebody's feeling at who they're making money off of, so it's crazy.
I got to ask you, in regards to all of the stories and all of the evidence that you have seen about this creature, is there a piece of evidence that sticks out to you as a real keynote on making this phenomena real? For me, if I were to give an example, it would be, and I know it sounds strange, Joedy, but it's the telepathy from the stories I've heard from researchers like you who've talked to hunters who have raised a rifle to this creature, and all of a sudden it's like they get this telepathic message saying, I wouldn't do that if I were you, otherwise it's going to be really, really bad. Like for me, and I realize you can't study that stuff, but these telepathic messages seem to be happening often around hunters, and it scares the daylights out of some of them where they never go back in the forest.
No, we had this one, this guy in Utah who was out hunting, and he was in a high grass area, and this was a few miles away from the Skinwalker Ranch, and there was 3 deer out there, so he was focusing on one, and all of a sudden the deers just like literally froze, and 2 of them ran, the other one dropped, and he thought, well, maybe they picked my scent up, and then he realized that the wind's blowing from the opposite direction. So he sees something coming out of the wood line, which he said, it was on all 4s, and I thought it was a moose at first, okay, which they don't have moose there. And so this thing's moving out, and then all of a sudden he said it stands up, it's on 2 legs, and it's walking, and it's like sniffing the air. So he's got his scope, so he's looking at this thing in the face, and he describes it that this thing was battle worn. The right lip was ripped off. He was able to see the teeth. It was missing one eye. It had scratches on its body, had like a bite mark on its chest. So, he's looking, he's like absolutely terrified. And the weapon he had is like, I don't think that I could take this thing down, and it would be on me. So he just basically froze, but he's watching it the whole time, and it's sniffing in the air. And he's thinking, well, maybe he's picking up this deer that's a couple yards in front of me. And something moved, I guess, off to its left, and it went off and went towards it. One picked up one of the other deers. But the stuff that people are seeing, and hearing about this is just, like you said, where people are picking up telepathy from these things, and you get kind of comical ones too. we had this one, which was this guy. I'm not kidding you. He goes, man, I'm telling you, I'm not lying. This is a God's honest truth. He goes, I'm out hunting, and I got this deer in my sight. And he said, all of a sudden, this thing walks right next to me, and I'm looking and standing, looking there, looking at the deers next to me. And he says it's a werewolf standing there, and he said it's looking at him and it's pointing at the deer with his snout, and stuff. And he's like, and he's hearing this in his head, take the shot, take the shot.
No way.
So he shoots. Yeah, so he shoots the deer, and the dogman takes the deer. He goes, I know that sounds crazy, but he says, I swear to you, this was legitimate. It's like, he was like telling me which deer to shoot. And, like I'm sitting there thinking he's telling me to shoot the deer. And, he's going to like pat me on the back or something, but he goes off, shoots the deer. He let the hunter do his job.
Hold on a second here. How close was this dogman or this werewolf to this hunter?
He said it was, it was literally touching the shoulder.
No.
He was that close.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. Oh. He said I couldn't even turn around with my rifle in time. This thing would have been on me, but he said it's just, he felt a calmness, with it there. He was kind of like feeling what it was saying, and the way it was like looking at him and looking at the deer. But you get stories like that, and they're kind of interesting, because when someone's BSing you, someone's BSing you, and but you get stories like this that are kind of interesting. And we live in a strange world as it is. Strange things happen. So you have to think about, maybe it could, because Dogman, maybe there's some good ones out there. Maybe there's some bad ones out there. You don't know. Maybe some of these just, they want to communicate with it. And we get reports from people all the time that, these things are gentle. They let you touch them and pet them. They, able to communicate with them. We're not going to deny these stories coming in because, we don't believe in it. It just kind of falls into a category of its own, because we have like flesh and blood, supernatural, and extraterrestrial. Excuse me. And then you have now a new group of we can category of where there's able to communicate with them through the mind. And some of them are just like really friendly. They want to communicate. They want to let you know, look, I'm not a threat to you. And so forth. So, we have that now. Before, we never had stories like that. There's not been really any story that we've ever received where these things were good until just recently. And what's so odd about it, they're coming from females. They're not coming from males. Maybe females have a better way of communicating, with them than men do. And they don't look at women as more of a threat than men. I don't know. It's just it's one of these things where it's mind-boggling just trying to cut through everything to find out what is what.
That is incredible. Incredible. I'm stunned to hear that. Joedy, I want to ask you, kind of off topic, but still on the same. You run the North American Dogman Project, and it's pretty much the Dogman equivalent to what the BFRO would be for Bigfoot. I had a gentleman on here a couple weeks ago, Carter Bouchard, who's a member of the BFRO, who claims that the BFRO hides reports that have anything that could possess paranormal, supernatural events, UFOs, anything like a Bigfoot disappearing, any type of woo. Why do you investigate everything, and yet this Bigfoot crowd refuses to even look into those stories of reports that come in? And Carter said there was literally hundreds of reports that have been buried by the BFRO, all because they contain something that does not follow along the scientific nature.
Right. See, the thing of it is the Bigfoot community is they're one-minded. Okay. That's it. You know, they're totally one-minded when it comes to the subject. They want to make it, you know, scientific. You know, you're going to be scientific. You got to be open-minded, you know, about every realm of the subject. Okay. You know, don't hide anything, because you're, you know, if you have an answer or a question with, you know, the scientific part and you need an answer, well, the answer might be in the supernatural part of it, you know, or the paranormal part of it. Okay. So you have to sit there and look at every aspect, you know, of the subject, because the thing of it is, it's all, everything's connected. Okay. Paranormal, UFO, extraterrestrial, all that stuff is all connected. Okay. One way or another, it's connected. So you have to have an open mind. You have to sit there and look at every single avenue when it comes to the subject. And that's what we do. We don't turn away, you know, any type of sighting that comes in, a report that comes in, because it's far-fetched. Okay, there's always something to that relates to what's going on, that you can pick up in the story to kind of say, yeah, there's something to this, even though it sounds far-fetched, but there's little nips in there that is related to other sightings. And the BFRO does that. You know, you know, we got a couple BFRO members on our team, and you know, they tell us that whenever they get dogman sightings, they're told, you know, don't report it, you know, don't talk about it. Now, I mean, I even reached out to Matt Moneymaker, you know, in a couple emails. He's never emailed me back, you know, where I sat there and I asked him, I said, listen, if you get the reports, send them to us. If we get Bigfoot reports, we'll send it to you. Okay. Because we get Bigfoot reports all the time. But let's work together. Don't hide them. But, you know, they all, you know, they have a different view of looking at things than paranormal researchers or any other cryptid researchers. So I don't know.
I don't get it either. I really don't.
I mean, it's crazy.
The one thing I always tell our audience is we try and educate them is science is not opinion. And from what I'm seeing, and this is just my opinion, that there's a lot of opinion being studied over in that organization. And I say that, you know, with confidence.
It is, you know, like I said, and that's why when I talked about that, you know, I left the field, you know, because of that, because like I said, it's a clique. They have one way of thinking when it comes to, you know, Bigfoot. You know, they don't want to sit there and think about, well, okay, you know, is it a prehistoric man? Is it a primate? Is it a Gigantopithecus? You know, what is it? You know, and they have one way of thinking, oh, it's a wood ape. Okay, it's a wood ape. So what is a wood ape? Okay, was it a prehistoric man? Was it a Gigantopithecus? You know, what was it? Well, it was a wood ape. Okay, I mean, and that's what you deal with.
True. Joedy Cook is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio from the North American Dogman Project. Joedy, how many sightings are you guys getting per year?
Oh, God.
Like in 2020, if you were to take 2020, is this an off year because of the lockdowns?
It's an off year because of the lockdown. Let's see. We haven't got the stats up because we weren't doing the stats for this year until the end of the month. So let's see. We average for this year, give or take, probably about 60 reports, maybe a little bit more.
And what's a normal year?
About 110.
Okay.
Right around here.
So 110, Now, that would probably mean North American wide or worldwide, what, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 sightings?
Yeah, we get reports coming into our website. We got reports coming into our Facebook page. We got stuff coming in, like with Twitter, and where people are posting on Twitter. So we're gathering all the and the biggest problem is a lot of these sightings, or majority of the sightings, are old sightings. Okay, but they're still sightings. Okay, so that's part of the count. Some people only count, different organizations out there only count sightings that are just like recent. But like I said, if this was 20 years, 30 years ago, we still count it, as a sighting that came in for that year. But we go by what is reported to the organization that month. Okay, so like we have a graph. We're doing a new one now, but on our website we have a graph, okay, a pie chart basically, where we took last year every sighting that we've got, and we divided it by how many sightings we got by winter, spring, summer, and fall. Okay, and then we had one by the time of days throughout the day, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, all the way within a 24-hour period. And then we got one which is by civilians, military, and law enforcement. So they're all broken down. So that's just for 2019. Okay, so we'll be working on 2020. That will be up hopefully sometime in January on that. So that kind of gives you kind of an idea of what we have coming in.
The sightings that you are recording on this creature, what does it look like for people who may not understand?
Well, it depends on, you have to understand something. It's all in interpretation of what the person saw. Okay, so the majority of the sightings that people are getting, when they see it up close, they're describing a dog, or German Shepherd type dog, or a wolf in appearance, but it's up on two legs. The characteristics of the legs are the same. The tail, the high pointed ears, the snout. The only difference characteristic is that the arms and the paws are a little bit more human looking. So that's the canine varied. So you have like the type 3, okay, which is still very much canine looking, but the legs are just a little bit different. They're more human, and the footprint is almost more human.
Right.
So it's human shape, but it's either 3-digit or 4-digit. And you can see the claw marks also, but it has kind of like a heel type to it. So that might be a different breed, but you're getting, reports of these things that look like hyenas.
Oh, goodness.
That are walking on two legs.
Well, let's describe that when we get back, because we do have to go to break here at the top of the hour. Joedy Cook is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We are talking Dogman all night long here on the mighty SOR. What is Dogman? When we come back on Spaced Out Radio from the North American Dogman Project, Joedy Cook, our guest once again. And if you're listening on in, make sure you head to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We're only 190 away from 10,000 subscribers. That's my Christmas wish this year, 10,000 subscribers. We'll be back on Spaced Out Radio. All right, buddy, we're clear. I'm just going to run my dogs outside. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, I'm going to go use the rep.
Okay.
You can join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month. And follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come rule it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
The party is always on at Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is Watching.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
All right, Jody, I'm back.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds here. I just got to fill up my iced tea. Go. All right, I'm back. That's a good first hour. That was fast. Holy cow.
Yeah. How late are we going to?
11. We got another 90 minutes, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Missing anybody new in our chat room? Bama, good to have you here. Thank you, Brian Bowden. Merry Christmas and a happy New Year to you too, my good friend. Thank you. Let's see. I think we're caught up here. M. Kuhns, welcome back, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Zenzabil, pleasure to have you here. Hi, Shar. Hi, Ange in Australia. How is tomorrow looking? Please let us know if we're alive in the future. We'd appreciate that here on the West Coast of North America. Hi, I know what I saw. Welcome to our show. Commonwealth Andrew, good to have you here. Merry Christmas. Robert Two Crows, always a pleasure when you're here. Mary Bone, she's a vegetarian. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And, Paul Holland, let us know if we're alive tomorrow. Please check. Thank you. Jake Sims, welcome. All right, we got about 1 minute, Jody. 1 minute.
Okay.
Once again, I appreciate you doing this, man. Thank you.
Hey, not a problem.
As you know, I'm a fan.
I know.
I want your autograph.
Yeah, I saw one of my books on eBay for like $1,500. Oh my God.
Really? That is awesome. That is awesome.
Hey, you can go to Amazon and get it for like $14.
Did you autograph it?
I don't know. Some guy in England was selling like 2 of them for like some ungodly price.
Nice. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Hi, Michael Dotto. Welcome to Spaced Out Radio. Flesh Wound, good to see you back. Thank you to Corey Foot, Murray, Michael Boyle, Pepper, and Grendel for the super chats. Here we go with hour 2. Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate it. Want to say thank you to everybody tuning in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, KPNL, and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. And what do we got here? We have... Oh, I just had it. Where are you, Clam? Deniferous. Deniferous is our password for tonight. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight we continue on with Joedy Cook from the North American Dogman Project. We are talking Dogman all night long. And yes, it's a great topic that we'd love to do on this show. Joedy, welcome back.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Joedy, you were continuing from describing what the Dogman is. Do you believe there are different types of this creature out there?
Oh, definitely. You know, the different characteristics, like you said, you have some that are very canine looking, and you have some that are very bulky, more like a Bigfoot, where it has a shorter snout. The ears are not so high and pointy. You have some that look like hyenas, with just a hyena in the head and within the face. The body is still very canine. It's just the head. And some of them actually, you have some that are brown, some of them are black. We've had some that were black with white stripes. We had some that actually had what they call like this hyena pattern. And those are the ones that basically look like the hyenas because of the pattern, but it's still considered a Dogman because of the characteristics of it and the way it acts. So it's like you said, everything's an interpretation of what the person sees, but everything is pretty much the same when it comes to identifying this creature, when it comes from reports from different people. The way the thing acts, the way it sounds, the way it looks. So we know there's at least 3 variations. There's actually some researchers have put out at least up to 6 or 7 different variations of the Dogman, but that's like a worldwide thing. But when it comes to here in the States, it's basically 3 different characteristics or breeds of the Dogman.
Wow. Do they differ in size too?
The normal size, what people are seeing, is right around 7.5 feet. We've had reports of it going all the way up to 10 feet. Just like you said, it just depends on the area where people are seeing these things. has a lot to do with size. It's the same thing with Bigfoot. You know, out in Pacific Northwest, they're a lot larger out there compared to on this side of the Rockies. So like in Michigan, the average size is right around 7 to 8 feet. Wisconsin is right around 7 to 8 feet. When you get to Kentucky, some of the size is a little bit bigger, up around 8 feet. Pennsylvania is right around 7 to 8 feet. Ohio is right around the same, 7 or 8 feet. Now, when you get down to like Louisiana, Texas area, the ones there are a little bit bigger. They're about 8 feet or over. The ones out in the Pacific Northwest, they're very large. Also, you know, right around 8 feet, a little bit bigger. But like I said, just determine, you know, what part of the country that it is, determine the size.
Interesting. So I would expect the ones up north, northern part of the United States, right through Canada, to be larger, because it seems like the more north we go, the larger the creatures are. I mean, you look at the Alaskan moose, you look at the Kodiak bears,
exactly.
You look at the Sasquatch. I would expect that to be different.
Well, you know, when we were out, we were in Canada, up in Vancouver, and you know, the dogman or the werewolves up there they were describing weren't that large. They were right around 7, 8 feet, but we wanted to go out. We weren't in Vancouver Island, we're in Vancouver itself, and we wanted to go a little bit further north. We wanted to go up in the area where most of the Bigfoot sightings up there, and there was an Indian tribe we were talking to. I can't pronounce, Kualu or something, starts with a K. I can't remember the name of the tribe that's up there in British Columbia, and they're like, you know, dude. I mean, they didn't say dude, but it's like, you don't want to go up there because it's not the dogman you have to worry about. It's the Bigfoot. They're cannibals. He said these things are like 12 feet, you know, and the dogman, you know, the werewolves fear these guys because they're cannibals. He said, you know, you're going to go up there, you're going to get eaten, you're not going to come back, you know. So, and this is, when it comes to Bigfoot and Dogman, I mean, this is like the very first time I ever heard where someone said, you know, Bigfoot, you know, Dogman fears Bigfoot, you know, is there in British Columbia. You know, here in the States, you know, the amount of reports that we're getting with Bigfoot related, you know, Bigfoot fears Dogman. Believe it or not, we've been talking with this community and up in Utah, and it's a small farming community. There's like 6 houses, okay, and you can see they're kind of off from each other, but you can still see them, and they're all farmers. They all have horses and things like that. So they had a Bigfoot in their community, okay, and they would see it, but it never bothered any of the livestock. It never bothered them. Okay, they would see it, they would hear it, so they knew it was there. They didn't bother it, it didn't bother them. And then livestock start getting attacked. Pets start coming up missing. They start hearing these weird screams. And then they start seeing what they describe as an extremely large wolf. But this thing, like one of the stories, one of the reports was that this the horses were going bananas in the corral. So the girl's looking out the window, the daughter, so she can't really see too much. And then the security light pops on, and she says there's this wolf that's doing like a combat, like a soldier's crawl along the corral. And as soon as the light came on, this thing just went flat, like it, you know, it was dead. So it attacked one of the horses. We got pictures of the horses that it attacked, but this thing was like tormenting, you know, this one particular family for a while, and leaving like a dead baby deer and things like that, just messing with them with it. And then they hear one night these screams just like something's in the woods fighting. And it was two different animals. And one of them they thought was the Bigfoot. The other one, they weren't sure what it was. And it just, all of a sudden, the Bigfoot's not seen anymore. And this dog man is still harassing the people there and attacking livestock and things like that. But like I said, from there on, they've never seen the Bigfoot again.
No way.
And this isn't the first time we get stories like this where, Bigfoot has been chased off. I mean, you have to, think about this. I mean, Bigfoot probably has the strength, but you're dealing with an animal that has knives, on it and bite marks. If can you imagine a bite mark or the bite pressure of a dog man? If a German Shepherd can break your arm, biting you, who knows what one could do? And these things go in packs. They're not all out there by themselves. So, for a Bigfoot to stand up to one, it's kind of like a lion trying to fight off hyenas. It's not a match.
I still think one-on-one Bigfoot wins by the camel clutch in the squared circle.
Well, I'm sure if a Bigfoot was able to get a hold of one, he ain't gonna let it go. But I don't know. It's nuts. I'd love to see a battle between two of them. I mean, that would be like the greatest.
That actually leads to my next question. And you kind of described it a bit. Are there a lot of reports coming into you guys that see Bigfoot and Dogman brawling it out for their territory? Because I want that pay-per-view match. I want Dana White to get the contract signed, put him in the UFC octagon, and make this thing happen. I need this.
Well, we do. We get reports like that a lot. It's not unusual. We actually got one where someone said, they saw the Dogman fight what they believe was a rake, and the rake ended up killing the Dogman. The rake is that's the only cryptid. I'm going to be honest with that's the only cryptid I think is made up. I really do. I don't think that thing exists. I think it's just a made up cryptid. I don't know. For some reason, I can't buy the rake. But anyhow, like I said, we got the report that, one was in a fight with a rake and the rake ended up killing the Dogman. So, you do get reports, like that. We get a lot of reports, believe it or not, that people who say they killed a Dogman, they've got the body, but they don't want to show anything. We have one researcher right now that's dealing with someone that apparently raised one for years. Yeah, raised one from a pup. It ended up dying. He's got it buried. He's like, well, come on out. I'll show you the body. I'm like telling her, no, this is like how horror movies start. You don't go out to the woods with a stranger with a shovel. Okay. You make him show you proof and, you get your team to go out with you. Well, the pictures were destroyed in a fire, blah, 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 blah,
Always an excuse.
It's always an excuse, and that's the biggest thing, we get stuff like that, people have, we have a body. I mean, it's just like, I know a guy I've been talking to that swears he has a skeleton of a skunk ape. And he won't show any proof of it. He said he found it. But he said it looks like a gorilla. It's 10 feet. But he won't show any pictures of it. And, so, if you don't have, if you got it, show it. There's not.
Sorry for cutting you off. I understand that logic though, because we've actually been discussing on this show recently that if you had the smoking gun video or evidence, would you bring it out to the public? And the way that people get eaten alive in this entire phenomena field, I don't know if I would either.
Well, see, here's the thing. What we tell our researchers, okay, if you're out in the field, okay, let's say you come across a body, okay, You found a body that died of natural causes or shot by accident, hit by a car, whatever. Okay, there's protocols that you go through. Okay, and part of the protocol is that every researcher has a field investigator's kit out there. They have bio kits, and the thing of it is, you find the body. Okay, you collect hair from different parts of the body. You document everything. You take pictures of everything. We tell people to have a paper with you, have an ink pad with you, so in a roller, so you can put ink on the hand and on the foot, and to make a copy on paper, so you got the dermal ridges, fingerprints of it. Remove a fingernail. If you're able to pull the blood, if it's not congealed, collect the blood. Document pictures after pictures after picture. Do not mutilate the animal. Don't cut the head off. Don't cut the arms off. Don't do anything. If you want DNA, try to swab the mouth. You got the blood. Try and pull a tooth or something to that effect, but don't mutilate the corpse. So at that point, so you got all this information. You have all the hair and everything. Okay, so what are you going to do? Okay, you can bury the body, dig it, and come back and get it. But the thing of it is, what we tell our people is, you don't want to call local law enforcement. You notify the animal control, the DNR or the Forestry Service in that area, and you let them know what you've got. And I tell them, make sure you have someone out in the woods hiding, filming you, bringing them in and showing the body to them. Okay, and turning the body over. Okay, that's one option. If you want to be brave enough to remove the body, okay, you have to be very cautious, because you have to understand every piece of land is either owned by the federal government, the state, the county, or the city. So they can put you in jail for theft for removing the body. It's like going into a park, okay, and picking flowers. They can arrest you for theft of city property. Okay, so you have to be careful about that. But if you do end up removing the body and you take it to a secure location, get a doctor to verify that it's not human. Get a veterinarian to certify that it is some type of animal. Okay, this is what you want to do. You want to get all the information up. You want to get reliable people to document what they think it is, and to certify, 1, it is not human, 2, it is some type of unknown species of animal. Then you can present that evidence, to the educational field, but don't make money off of it. Put it out there for educational purposes. If you do it right, you can do it right. Okay, don't do a press conference with the freaking media. Okay, that's the worst thing you can do. So you just have to be very cautious on the way you deal with it if you come in possession of a body. If the government is going to take it, they're going to take it. So there's not much you can do about that. But get everything documented and keep it very secret before the government finds out that you got it. And if they want to take it, give it to them. But double up on copies and triple up on copies of everything you got. Put it in a safety deposit box somewhere. But because they're going to take whatever information you got anyhow, they're going to come into your house with a search warrant and take it. They're going to make sure they get everything. And you have to sit there and understand, what is the interest, that they have, that everything has to be secretive. Is it because of revenue? Is it because they don't want to lose revenue? If they let people know that, hey, these things are in parks killing people, or in national forests killing people, then no one's going to go to the park or picnic or camp, so they're losing revenue. So it comes to one of these situations. You just, what is their interest? Is it a national, security issue? What is the big thing? What is the big secret? It's no different from finding a completely new species of gorilla somewhere in the Congo, or a different type of a bird or something like that. It's a new species. So what? It's an apex predator. Okay, it's going to take human life if it doesn't know any difference from a African lion taking human life. It doesn't know it's not supposed to do it.
Okay. So
sorry, I didn't mean winded.
No. I if a body is found, if you guys had that elusive Bigfoot or Dogman body, and I understand everything that you said, how much sampling could you get away with without the feds or the police or anybody knowing?
Well, here's give you an example. We have hair samples. Okay, so the one facility said, okay, it's odd hair. Okay, it's extremely long, but it's canine. But we can't determine what species of canine it came from because it doesn't match up to anything, because we have never seen canine hair that's extremely long the way it is. Okay, so, but there again, does that prove that there's an unknown species of dog, of canine running around? Does it prove that it's Dogman? Okay, that's the problem you're dealing with. Okay, so it's going to a different lab. Now, this lab can sit there and say something completely different, or if they find something, do these DNA labs have to report that they found something unusual that doesn't match up, or is there something that their systems are hacked? So if something comes into their system and they're, it puts a red light off somewhere, who knows? My thing is what is the interest in the government? With this, I mean, we've had the CIA, we've had the NSA, we've had the Department of the Army, Department of Agriculture, Department of Defense, all on our websites. We've had the Canadian government on our website. We had the British government, Australian government. We had the New Zealand government, all on our website. Now, are these government officials looking at our website, or are these just employees, of some government facility on their lunch break Googling? You know what I'm saying? We don't know. I can tell you this, right before COVID, I did a lecture and the NSA showed up at that lecture, and they let me know they were NSA. And, they told me, everything that's on our site, they've got possession of. They have copies of everything. But the interesting thing about it, I mean, he was even asking questions, about, Dogman and things like that. And afterwards, he's like, look, don't be surprised if, a government agency contacts you for assistance on the subject. So, I haven't got a phone call yet, but I found that kind of interesting, but there again, would I want to work with them? I don't know. Cause I spent 20 years in the Army, and I can tell you, I don't trust governments, for all I know, they could take me out somewhere and throw me out of an airplane or something.
Well, they have before.
Yes, they have.
So yeah. Why not? Joedy, I'm going to get you to hold on right there. It's a good place to pause for a couple of minutes here, because we do have to go to break at the bottom of the hour. From the North American Dogman Project, we have its founder, Joedy Cook. We continue on with the Dogman Talk. We'll take your questions in the chat rooms in the next half hour on Spaced Out Radio. So make sure you stay tuned and grab some tennis balls, just in case Dogman wants to play fetch with you. We'll be back. All right, buddy, we're clear.
Well, Dave, you said you're what, 190 people away?
186 now.
186. You can probably contact the Democratic Party here in the States, and I'm sure they can find 186 people in a cemetery somewhere.
I get enough of that. No, terrible.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to ask you in regards to in regards to what you're doing with this, how has the lockdown and the restrictions affected you from your research? Have you still been able to get into parks and?
No, I mean, dude, we're working on a documentary, okay, and we're like a month and a half behind the release date because of COVID. A lot of the witnesses have COVID. We've actually been walked out of the location, a public location, by the DNR. It's nuts. We're just so far behind on getting this documentary done. It's right. Nuts. Yeah.
By the way, we just hit 200 viewers live on YouTube right now.
That's good.
Yeah. We apparently, according to Human Carl, we hit 202.
Yeah, I did Coast to Coast a couple weeks ago. That was fun.
Were you on with Nori?
No, Connie Willis.
Oh, Connie Willis. Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of hers.
Yeah, she's good. She's good. Yeah. What's going? You guys are. Trevone, boy, I tell you what, he's really showing himself, ain't he?
Who?
Your prime minister.
Oh yeah, you don't want that. You don't want any of that.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. When Biden doesn't become president and Trump stays in because he's proven all this shit, I'm telling you, your military is going to end up removing him.
Oh yeah, we'll see what happens. I try and keep the political talk away from.
No, I know, but I'm just saying we're off air, so you know.
Well, we're still on YouTube, so.
Yeah.
But no, I'm very much not a. It's funny because my business partner and I, we go to wit's end on it, and every time old Justin there has one of his moments, I throw it in my buddy's face, and he's like, "Shut up, you idiot." I'm like, "Shut up to you." And
okay, they're down here in the States.
It's ugly. It's ugly right now.
Yeah, there's this big thing saying that he's Castro's love child.
Yeah, that goes on up here too. Yeah, but you just can't speak moistly around him. You can't speak moistly. Anyways, hello to the troll, a.k.a. Troll Ronto. I want you to change your name to Troll Ronto. That would make me laugh a little bit, just to be honest. Let's see here. What else do we got? Rock Lobster, welcome. We got about just over a minute and a half here on the show. And don't forget, we're going to take your questions. Make sure you put them in capital letters. Hi, Thurston Howell III. How's Lovey doing? Are you on hey, I got to ask you. Joedy, you're a man of good nature here, as we got about 45 seconds. What's your idea of having breakfast for dinner? Breakfast food. Oh, come on. Yes. You're a man. You're a man.
I love breakfast for dinner.
Oh, God's sakes. There goes your reputation with me. Son of a bitch.
It's popular here in the States.
Dude, seriously. They're breakfast foods for a reason. That's why they're called breakfast foods, for breakfast. Anyways, I'll go off on a tangent there. We only got about 15 seconds. Jenny, thank you so much for the wonderful super chat. I really do appreciate it. Vinster, I really appreciate you and your super chat as well. Thank you so much. Here we go with the second half of the show right now, guys. We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Dave Scott. I do not eat breakfast for dinner. That's why they're called breakfast foods. And I want to remind you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on with a great guest tonight, Joedy Cook, head of the North American Dogman Project. We're getting into audience questions here as well. Joedy, welcome back.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm very good. Disappointed to find out that you eat breakfast for dinner, but you know what? You're here. We're going to continue the interview.
Okay. I don't do it all the time. You know,
Yeah,
it's just
no, you know, you can't back out of it now, man.
No, I'm just saying it's popular here in the States. It really is.
I know. I understand that. I understand. Except bacon. Bacon's universal. It's much like O positive blood. It's universal. Exactly. Ross wants to know, where are dogmen most seen in the United States?
In the northeast of the country. So you would say basically from Kentucky up to Michigan, from Illinois going all the way up to New Jersey, Massachusetts area. That whole corner spot up there. That's a majority of where the sightings are coming in. We are getting some in a very large second location, which is from Texas, from Florida, Louisiana, Texas, going into New Mexico and Utah, those areas right there around the four corners. That's about the second part of where we're getting. So I would say those two are the biggest areas right now.
Is it the climate? Moist, as we speak moistly?
No, I don't. I think a lot of it is the food and the environment is extremely wooded areas. The food source is very, very strong in these areas. A lot of large deer population, large roadkill. So there's the food sources there. There's a lot of water in the area. So a lot, like I said, a lot of woods for a lot of things to hide. And I think that has a lot to do with it.
All right. PBR is asking, do you have any quality, not blurry photos of Dogman?
No, to be honest with you. When you get stuff in, it's either, like I said, from a trail camera, it's from someone's cell phone from a distance. I would love to have something really, really good. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. We do have one picture, okay, from Illinois, which is very, very interesting. And if you send me a message on Facebook, I'll send it to you, let you look at it. There's this family that's walking down this little road, and there's a cemetery there that's kind of old cemetery, and there's an old church right over there that's no longer being used. So they walk this area all the time. So there's a tree stump like right at one point there. Okay, so the family knows it's there because they see it all the time. So when they're walking down the road, she takes a picture of her husband and her son in front of them. Okay. Just for some reason, she was just taking pictures and just happened to take that one there. Well, they didn't see it, but when they go back and look at the pictures, there's this large canine standing right there in front of the the tree stump. And you can see this thing as plain as day in this picture. So we did investigation up there. So we have a picture of the tree stump. We have a picture, of this thing. So we know this thing was standing in front of the tree stump. It wasn't standing behind the tree stump. The tree stump looks completely different from this thing because you can see the large snout. You can see the ears on this thing. You can see the muscles in the arms, in the front arms of this thing. And it's really odd. And it stayed still as they were walking by. Cause like I said, they didn't notice it because they knew there was a tree stump there. So they just never looked to see what was there. But that was probably, I'd say, probably one of the best pictures that we have. The second picture is one that came out of Jedediah National Forest. There was the guy's a Trekkie, and there was a couple episodes of Star Trek that was filmed in that location. I think it was The Next Generation. So he wanted to go out to the spot where the filming took place. So he's walking the trail. So up off the trail, there's two people. That's just a little bit ahead of him in this one little spot. So he sees them, they see him, they wave. So he's walking down the trail a little bit, and then he hears screaming. So he runs back to the spot where the people were. He doesn't see them, but he sees this werewolf standing there. So he takes the picture with his cell phone and he runs back. So the picture's pretty interesting. It is kind of a blur, but you can see the shape of it. You can see the arms, the legs, the massive chest, the snout and the ears on this thing. It's a very unique picture. So we have one of our regional directors in Regional 1 out in California area where it took place. She's also a member of MUFON, and either she still is or she was a member of the STAR team. So she went and interviewed them, got the phone, did metadata on the phone to make sure that it was taken. The picture was taken from that phone, and it was taken from that phone. What was ever there in that area was definitely there. It was not photoshopped in or anything to that effect. So it's like I said, it's a pretty decent picture. He doesn't know what happened to the people that were there. He doesn't know if this thing attacked those people, or if the people saw it and they screamed and ran and hid. He just doesn't know what happened, to the people that were standing there.
Right. I was going to save this for the final half hour, but because it's come up in our chat room, I will ask you this question now. A couple of years ago, you and I kind of stirred it up a little bit about these Anubis-type dogmen soldiers with swords, to the point where you were getting phone calls and emails from military members in having that. What has happened with that since?
Well, the thing of it is, we got one report. Okay, we talked to a guy, and he was a former U.S. Army Special Forces, and he was no longer in the military, so he ended up working for the government as a contract employee. So what his job was to recover down UFOs. Okay, Black Ops, and everybody that's involved were either prior Special Forces, Navy SEALs, combat air controllers, Rangers, things like that. So he was telling me that he verified who he was. We verified he was in the military and so forth. So what happened is that the United States got in contact with a species of alien in the early 70s that was canine in nature. Okay, but they wore some type of protective suit. So they were extremely dangerous. They knew that, they were dangerous, but they finally ended up getting possession of a few of them that was live from their vessel crashing. But since them being so dangerous and a predator, they kept them out of the country, and they kept them in a facility in Honduras. So they were able to take over the facility a little bit and, killed some people, got out. Their job was to go down and, take care of this situation. And they did. They ended up killing them. To that, that was like the first story we got. And I know Linda Goffrey got one from a different person in the military that was very similar to that story, because she told me. So then we started getting reports from U.S. and Canadian soldiers in Belgium, and I think the other one was German. But these were in Afghanistan, where they were seeing these werewolves basically out in combat zones. And one U.S. soldier said that these things actually, he saw them kill an insurgent, and they had like a sword. And he said the sword looked like a pharaoh's sword, a half sickle type sword. And he said it kind of looked like the sword that was in the movie Scorpion King, and he killed the one guy with it. Well, the guy that told us the original story a few years earlier mentioned the same thing, that they had this sword that they carried. Well, if you look up pictures of Anubis, he's carrying the same type sword that these soldiers described. And like the Canadian soldiers that were in Kandahar Valley, they were in a trench and right outside the skirts of the city, and there was like a wall. This one building had like a wall in front of it, and he said these children were running and screaming, and then the dogs start running behind them. So they thought, well, the dogs were after the children, so they start shooting at the dogs, and then the dogs eventually end up running past the children. They were scared. So the one Canadian soldier had a 203, and he ended up popping smoke over on towards that wall area or that corner. So whatever was coming through would be distorted, so they would, be able to, take fire, on them. So he said this thing comes out. He said he described it as Anubis. It was a large wolf, black, high pointed ears, large mouth. But he said it was wearing like a kilt type thing, but would look very Egyptian looking. But he didn't have a sword or anything like that. But it was just didn't have a top on or anything. But he said it was just odd looking. He said it looked like Anubis. So they fired at it, and it, didn't even affect it at all. And it ended up pulling back and going back towards the smoke again. So, we get stories like that. And we also had this one story, which is kind of interesting, from an Air Force officer, retired, who worked with extraterrestrials in the military or in the Air Force. And he said there's this particular race of alien that we deal with, but we don't trust. Okay, but they won't pull this on us because technology-wise, they might be advanced, but we can destroy them, is the way he explained it. So what they do is they go from civilization to civilization, and they have these drones, or not drones, but clones, rather, of werewolves. They look like werewolves, and they're wearing body armor. And he said that what they do, they take them and put them in, send them to a civilization to start creating havoc, killing the people, tearing up the place, and they come in and kill them off and save the planet. Okay. And then they get, involved in the government and taking over this, taking over that. And eventually turn the people into slaves. So he said, this is an alien species that we deal with. And, he said what these dogmen, what the military is seeing are actually these clones that are being sent down by this particular species of alien. But they're only sending them down like one at a time. And they're basically testing our forces, And the thing about, what bothered this, he said, what bothered this this alien species with these clones is that the human species is a violent species, and we will fight to the last person, and that bothers them because they know the human species does not surrender. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
When you were talking about this on the show previous, you had a couple of confirmation letters from soldiers come back, and some were willing to talk to you, others were not. I'm curious in regards to the way soldiers are not supposed to talk about these Anubis type creatures. What are they describing? Or from the bodies to the armor, are they bigger than the Dogman?
No, they're actually right around the same size. 7 feet is the way they're describing them. They're not describing them as bulky or anything like that. Just an average size, like a way a human would be, but just a little bit taller.
Muscular?
No, because they can't really tell because they're wearing some type of suit. Because all what they're seeing is just the head and the feet and the hands. So they can't see what the rest of the body looks like because the protection suit or body armor, whatever it is that they're wearing, is basically covering up the body. Now they can see the tail coming out of the back, so they don't know what the rest of the body looks like. So they're only going by what they can see.
Interesting. Are these reports still coming out of the Middle East, or even South America?
Oh yes. Actually, we just got one from a guy who was in Iraq, and he was with the 82nd Airborne, and this was in Baghdad at the time, and he was a sniper, and he had night vision on his scope, so he sees a couple what he thinks might be insurgents out at night gathering, and one of them was kind of like walking a little bit towards this alley, and he said that this huge dog came out of the alley, stood up and chased this guy on 2 legs and took him down, and he's ripping him apart, and the other guy's just like hauled butt. And he said, I'm watching this through my rifle. And he goes, I'm not even going to report this. I'm not even going to call it in. I'm not even going to take a shot at it. Because he how am I going to explain it, is what he said. How am I going to explain something like this? So it's we get stories like this all the time. We got a story from a police officer in Louisiana, which is, I think this is like the best story. This guy's going down the road and down in the bios, and there's no lights whatsoever there. So it's dark. He's got his brights on. He sees something in the middle of the road, very large hairy animal, and it's eating something. He sees the tail wagging. Okay. And he bonked the horn. I can't remember what he either bonked the horn or turned the lights on. I can't remember. And the thing ended up, he said it stood up, and as it was standing up, it's turning around and looking at him. And he said it had this god awful, horrifying look on its face. He said it was a werewolf. What he called it, the Lucaroo. Had the high pointed ears, a snout. He said massive body, arms like a human being, It was bent at the elbows. He said, that he saw the hands, the fingers, the backward legs like a dog. And he started coming toward the vehicle. So he throws the vehicle in reverse. He said it jumped on the vehicle and it starts busting on the window, trying to get into the vehicle. And it's holding on to the lights on the car. And it's like keeps hitting and is putting its head, bouncing its head up on, trying to bust the window along with his head. So he goes like a 360 and throws it off of the vehicle. Now he goes, I had my dash cam on the whole time. So I'm filming this. Okay. So he gets back to the station. He tells his shift supervisor what's happened, shows him the car, shows him the dash cam video. Shift supervisor sends him home for the night, tells him, come back on tomorrow if you're able to. If you don't, take a day off. So he comes back the following day. His cruiser is completely repaired. His shift supervisor knows nothing about the incident. Shift supervisor told him, you need to just leave it alone, or I'm going to make you end up going seeing a psychiatrist, and it could ruin your career, can ruin promotions. That's crazy. That's absolute crazy. We get stories like that all the time. We got one from the DEA that was out on and this is in Louisiana also, that was out on a exercise, and they're wearing ghillie suits because what they do is they go into the swamps where, people are growing marijuana and stuff. So they go in ghillie suits for camouflage. So they were doing an exercise. So they're coming back, going down the road to their vehicles. And he said, a couple of dog men walked right out in front of them and looking at them. And he said, there's, 4 of us. 3 or 4 of them, and they all had camouflage face. They got ghillie suits on, and he said these werewolves are like looking at them and turning their head like a German Shepherd does, or dog, kind of confused, and it's growling at them, and because they just didn't know what these guys were, and eventually they end up going off to the wood line, and they're kind of like walking along the wood line with them until they got to one point and they went off. But, they're like, dude, we've never seen anything like this. I mean, we go back, we tell our supervisor tells them, to shut up. So they're, Googling what they saw, the Lucaroo and all this thing. And they found our website, and they ended up contacting, and they verified us with showing the information who they were, that they were DEA. And we get things like this all the time. I mean, these are like the cream of the crop of the stories.
Interesting. My friend, we only got about 45 seconds left before we have to go to break at the top of the hour here. Do you think that these creatures, maybe I'll hold that next. I was going to ask about whether or not you think these creatures have a vested interest in taking down people. Maybe not the wild ones in North America, but around the world we see this happening. Can you do it in 20 seconds?
It is. It's happening all over the world. This is a worldwide phenomenon, just like the UFO stuff is. It's happening just like on every single continent. We're getting stuff, like you said, from India. We're getting stuff from Pakistan. We're getting stuff from Africa, of all places, dealing with this subject, seeing this type of creature. So, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we really never had stuff like this going on all over the world. For some reason, it's just like it's booming.
Right.
And
my friend, hold that thought. I apologize. My fault for asking the question late. Joedy Cook, North American Dogman Project. We got him for another 30 minutes on Spaced Out Radio. Sorry, brother. That was completely my fault. I'm going to quickly run my dogs out. I'll be right back, okay?
Go ahead, brother.
Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month. And follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come rule it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
The party is always on. Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks at the rock while serving some of the best-rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and we have some cool swag for you to pick up. All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, Space Travelers, this is John Russell. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little different. We're not some fake
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget, from commercial spots to banners to special
All right, buddy, I'm back.
Okay.
So just stick with me through the break at the bottom of the hour, and then I'll say a proper good night to you, my friend.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Hey, Bat Mom, how are you? Bombshell Bomber, good to have you here. Jim Lucier, thank you for coming on in. Let's see here. It's cold out.
Oh, we're it's raining here, and it's going to turn into snow in a few hours. So at least we'll get snow for Christmas Eve and Christmas. So that'd be cool.
Yeah. We are at right now a low of 23 degrees Fahrenheit, -5 Celsius right now. But it's got that wind chill. Wind chill is what gets me every time. Hate that.
I love the cold. I can't stand the heat. I hate summer. I love winter.
Oh, me too. Me too. I enjoy it. I love the cold much better, but I can't stand the wind. The wind drives me nuts. Greg Moyes, thank you so much for the awesome super chat. Really do appreciate that. Also, a big thank you to Lynn, Vinny, Jenny, Corey Foote, Murray, Michael, Pepper, and Grendel tonight. Thank you so much for supporting us. We really do appreciate it. Another way you could support us, we got 186 people to go to 10,000 before the end of the year on the subscriptions for our YouTube channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. And earning your listening ears, thank you. And we're up in 30 seconds here, man.
Okay.
All right. She's a colder. Don't like it. Don't like it a bit, but what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah, the summer, I hate summer. I just, I mean, here in Ohio, man,
you get the muggy stuff. Hold on, buddy. Here we go.
Would you like to connect with us? For all of your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate it. I want to say thank you to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio, along with KPNL. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. We want to hit 10,000 subscribers before the year's end. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. What do you got for us, Clam? Deniferous. Deniferous is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. For the final time tonight, we introduce Joedy Cook. He is the head of the North American Dogman Project. And Joedy, welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Do you believe, and this leads to Joe's question, whether or not Sasquatch and Dogman share a potential ability to cloak itself, or is it just a very good camouflager?
I think it's camouflage, to be honest with you, because animals, their hide or their color and stuff gets them to blend into the environment. It's you could be out into the woods and a rabbit's right there and it jumps out in front of you, or a deer jumps out in front of you because it was always there. You just never notice it because it would blend in to the environment. Now we do get a lot of stories where these things cloak. Does it happen? I mean, it falls into the realm of supernatural. Who's to say that portals don't exist? I mean, I'm sure they do. I'm sure some of them come interdimensional. These things could be part of the hollow earth theory, another civilization within the earth. There's always a possibility. But when people see these things cloak, are they actually see them cloak, or are they seeing them disappear because they're blending into the environment? It's an interpretation, what the people are seeing now. But you do get some where they'll see like a flash of light, or the area turns real dark or real light in that area, and where they're saying they're going through portals. I saw a video one time from a paranormal investigator where there was this guy that was walking down the street. It was a house camera caught it, and it was right across the street from the house, where the guy was just walking, an elderly man walking, and all of a sudden it's just he's no longer there. You know, so no one knows that ever happened to this guy. Did he go into a portal? Who knows? You know, and this is what these people are seeing. So the possibilities are very well open. But me as a researcher, I have to look at it as I believe that it's the environment. They're blending in to the environment. It's their camouflage. All animals have it.
What about Bigfoot?
You know, it's the same thing, because, you know, when I was doing UFO research, we were getting a lot of reports of Bigfoot being in an area where there was a UFO landing or a UFO in the area. You know, my whole theory on that is, you know, if humans are being abducted, animals are being abducted, who's to say that Bigfoot wasn't abducted either? And, you know, if you get a report where they saw a Bigfoot come out of the ship, well, maybe he was abducted and he's being released. Anything is possible. You know, I don't know, you know, if he's interdimensional or not. Is he flesh and blood? I just don't have enough evidence to go either way. But I'm not going to dismiss the fact that they are portals and they are different dimensions that we live in. I'm not going to deny that. But are these particular, you know, entities going through dimension? Maybe they can. I don't know. You know, maybe they're intelligent enough to do it. That's the biggest mystery.
So you don't believe that they could be multidimensional? Because I talked to a First Nations gentleman today about Sasquatch and all of these cryptids, and he does believe, as the stories have been passed down, that these creatures are multidimensional in some way in order to escape, and that's the reason why no bodies have ever been found.
Well, you know, the whole thing why bodies haven't been found, everybody knows that nature cleans up after itself. You know, a deer, you know, is completely gone within 5 to 7 days. You know, if Mother Nature didn't clean up after herself, we would be walking around piles of dinosaur bones. You know, only things get preserved if it's in a dry environment like a desert. You know, animals that die in, you know, say the jungles, they're gone within days. There's no traces whatsoever of them, because every single little critter eats bone, eats teeth. Same thing with here in the States when it comes. That's why you're not finding them. Now, is Bigfoot smart enough where he buries his dead? I believe that. And I think they mimic that from humans, because there's a lot of reports of Bigfoot being seen in cemeteries. Same thing with Dogman. There's this really interesting video. It was taken here in Ohio, where these young girls were going to the cemetery to eat their lunch. Okay, they do it all the time because it's quiet. They see something digging in a grave. This odd looking creature digging into a grave. Looks very much like a Dogman. So it dug about 2 feet down into the grave, and this thing is digging the grave up barehanded. I got the video, and it's digging it up, you know, really hard, really fast. You can see it, the motion on this thing. It's very dark, very, very slender looking entity. So we got pictures of the grave after, I mean, what the hole's still in it, when we have pictures of the grave that they cleaned up. Now, the people who work at the cemetery said that the local law enforcement ended up taking the security film of what it was, because there was a camera right on it. So there was a camera that you were able to see. And they said, look, there's a lot of strange stuff that's going on in the cemetery. People are seeing a lot of strange stuff. Graves are being digged up. So are they being dug up? And some of them are being dug up and buried right back. So are they burying their dead with our dead? it's a possibility. I've got a picture. There we have a cemetery right down the road from where I live. It's a lot of Civil War and American Revolution veterans in there, and you kind of have to go up a bunch of wood steps to get there, or concrete steps rather. And there was a female that went up there to take pictures of the cemetery, and she saw a large ape digging in the ground, so she snapped a picture of it and took off. So I got the picture, and you can see the arm, the head, the ear, and the side mouth of this thing digging in a cemetery. I mean, it's a really weird picture, but it's definitely a primate. It's definitely a Bigfoot that's digging in this cemetery. So it's not unusual, and we get reports of they say, I can't say dogmen, but wolves walking around wearing cloaks in cemeteries. We've had several reports of that. Yeah.
Wow. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to like the hellhound theory. Hellhounds protected the cemeteries from the demons collecting the souls, and they were collecting the souls. So, are these hellhounds, protecting the cemeteries? I don't know, man. It's weird, but like you said, we've got a lot of reports from people all over the country that have been in cemeteries visiting their relatives, and they would see a wolf walking around wearing a cloak. I mean, that's some strange stuff.
That is completely strange. Completely strange. Joedy Cook is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Joedy, with this creature, is it more active during the spring through fall months? Does it hibernate? What have you been able to figure out about it?
The thing of it is, it varies. The majority of the sightings you're going to have in spring and summer, and then come fall, they're going to die down. Winter, they're basically very seldom you're going to get sightings. You're going to get more tracks, in the snow than you're going to get actually sightings. And that's very much how it is. It's just spring and summer is where it's very active. What was the second part of the question?
Well, do you think they hibernate during the winter?
I don't know. And it's hard to say, because I was talking with this veterinarian from the U.S. Forestry Service, okay? And she was telling me that something is digging bears, grizzly bears, and black bears up out of their dens and killing them. They don't know what it is. I mean, it's crushing the chest of the bears and snapping the backs. So whatever it is strong enough to do that. Now, they said, it's not uncommon for grizzly bears to dig up black bears out of their dens and eat them when they wake up. It's not uncommon. But whatever this thing is, not eating them, it's killing them. And that's something that the U.S. Forestry Service is keeping quiet. But, she was telling me that, it's just, we just don't know. I mean, what can take a 1,200-pound grizzly bear and crush its chest and snap its back?
The Iron Sheik. The Iron Sheik totally could.
I mean, Bigfoot's a docile animal. I don't think he's a violent animal. I don't think he wants confrontation. He's gonna scare you off and things like that. But I can't see Bigfoot going and digging up a den and killing the bear. And there's just no reason for it. Bears, I think, fear Bigfoot, and I don't think Bigfoot is going, to kill an animal because he finds it a threat. Unless it attacks him, I think he'll do what he needs to do. But I don't think he's doing it. I think it's Dogman, that's digging up these and killing these bears. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense, because I can't see a Bigfoot doing it.
No, I just don't know. I don't know. And, I listen to you, and I want to believe. I believe in this creature. That is it.
It's real. It's 100% real.
I want to take this down a little bit of a conspiratorial road for a second, because I have talked, and I think I've asked you about this, but I've talked to other Dogman researchers who claim that there are military hit squads going around North America taking these creatures out. Have you heard about that?
Here's the thing. I hear stories all the time that, there's groups, going and killing these things, or, they have possessions of them, and they have tracking devices on them and so forth. I don't know. I mean, the government, I truly believe the government has interest in them, but why? Okay, yeah, it's an apex predator. I believe it has taken human life. I believe it will take human life. So yes, it's got to be a threat, to people. So are the governments going out? I think the government might be going out looking for them and trying to catch them to find out what they are. If they have to kill it, they have to kill it. Now, I was telling you earlier about a story from Canada. Okay, right. I spoke with this Canadian park ranger, and there's this particular park in Canada, and the rangers, this guy, he's new there, right? So he goes, I'm there. My supervisor's telling me, because he had to stay the night, that whatever you do, don't open the door, don't go out. Here's the key to the armory. Yeah, if anything happens, you have a weapon here. And he said they're M16s. Okay, why do they have M16s? Okay, why do they have M14s? 308 M14s. And as time's going on, he's hearing all kinds of different stuff that's going around. So one day, this young couple with their friends are showing up, and they want to go camping, and he says, okay, you guys can go in this area, but you guys can't go in this area. So these kids end up going to this other area they weren't supposed to get into. One of them comes running back to the cabin, hours later, all bloody, saying, werewolves attacking people, killing all their friends. So he calls his supervisor calls somebody, said these black vans show up. They take the girl, they go out, and he hears gunshots, and the vans take off. He says crazy stuff. And, finally his supervisor broke down to him and said, yeah, there's werewolves in this park, and they kill people. That's why we keep them out of certain areas. And he's like, you leave me here at night and you're just now telling me this stuff's going on. He goes, well, you got weapons to protect yourself. Well, if it gets through the door, trying to unlock your armory, I mean, that's nuts. So he doesn't do that job anymore. He says he's not going to put him life at risk. He's seen too many things. He heard too many things. That particular night, where these people came in and killed whatever it was and took this girl, and took the bodies. He said that's enough for him. So I think all governments, have some type of interest in this.
I was just thinking of something. Going back, we're jumping back because we only got about 4.5 minutes left with you tonight. Jumping back to where you were saying about the dogman in the graveyard cloaked. We, a couple friends and I, a couple years ago, got scared out of a crash site. And I've talked about this Bigfoot story a number of times on the show. And we got run out of there by what we believe were a couple of Sasquatch. They kind of triangulated us and pushed us down the trail. Anyways, long story short, that the crash site is still Canada's largest unsolved murder, and there was 52 people who died on that plane crash. And hearing about the Dogman in, the graveyards, and thinking about the Sasquatch here, are they maybe guardians of those who have perished?
It's hard saying. I sit there and think about I think when you see a Bigfoot in a cemetery, I think he's watching people and they mimic. Okay, when it comes to like burying their dead, these wolves that they're seeing wearing cloaks, and the thing about it, they're all wearing red cloaks. That's the weird thing from the different parts of the country that we're getting these stories that they're wearing red cloaks. Are they guardians? And like I said, the only thing I can think of a dog in a cemetery were hellhounds protecting the souls from the demons. So maybe hellhounds do exist, but they're not this vicious creature everybody thinks they are. They're guardians, of the souls. Who knows? Life is stranger than fiction. But it's interesting. But I'd love to get a picture of one. I tell these people, if you next time you go there, snap a picture if you can. I'd love to see this. I'd love to know more about this with these things wearing red cloaks. It's I don't know. That's very interesting and it's very creepy at the same time.
What would it take to prove it? It's proof for you that it exists, but for the public, we're not going to get a body. We know that.
Even DNA is not going to prove it. Okay, because you have to understand something. Okay, you can get a Bigfoot body or a Dogman body, slap it on the 6 o'clock news, and say, here it is. Okay, science is not going to accept it for what it is, because if you do, science has to be changed. Okay, science does not want to be changed, so they're going to classify it as something other than what it is. Okay, because science does not want to be corrected. Okay, and that's all what it comes down to. So you're never gonna, unless there's a live broadcast on the news on something and one comes in the area, starts ripping people apart and they're filming it. That's about the only way you're really going to get it. Something to that effect. But like I said, science doesn't want to be wrong. They don't want to be corrected. They don't want to change it. So they'll just classify it as something other than what it is.
Well, my friend, we've got 1 minute with you, and I want to say a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you, your beautiful family, and the success you've had in 2020 with this entire phenomena. What's on the agenda for 2021 for you?
Trying to finish up on this documentary. Like I said, this COVID stuff is just driving us nuts. Witnesses, some of the witnesses have the COVID, so we have to wait till that's taken care of for us to finish. Most of the documentary is done. It's just we have to have these interviews to complete the documentary. So that's going to be the biggest thing. I know Connie Willis from Coast to Coast. She wants to come out and do a broadcast on one of the sites that we're getting a lot of reports from, and that's going to be for like 4 days out in the field with her. So that's going to be interesting. So from there on, just hoping that this COVID crap gets over so life can go back to normal.
My friend, thank you again for coming on Spaced Out Radio. It's always a pleasure to have you on, Joedy Cook. You're a great guy, a great friend of this show, and all the best to you.
I appreciate it. You too, brother. Anytime.
All right. Joedy Cook, North American Dogman Project. You can check that out online. Coming up next, we have the SOR Newswire. We have the Thought of the Dame. Stay tuned. More Spaced Out Radio coming up. Good job, Joe.
I appreciate it, buddy.
We'll give you some claps for that. Yeah, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you and everything you've done to support us on this show the last year. You're a true dude, man, and I really appreciate our friendship and our relationship, man.
Hey, anytime. I appreciate it too. Like you said, I'm always there for you. I apologize I couldn't do it that one night.
That's okay. It's kind of short notice.
Yeah, but yeah, anytime.
Well, I'll let you get to it because I know it's 2:30 where you are. Thank you so much, man.
All right, you too, brother. Take care.
See you, bud.
Be good. Bye.
Joedy Cook, everyone. Amazing dude. Just a reminder, as Brian is asking, we will not be live on YouTube tomorrow or Christmas Day. I'm taking a couple of days off here. I apologize. I know a lot of you, sometimes we don't have anybody to spend time with, and COVID has really pushed that through. Let me see how much stuff I get busy tomorrow. Hey, look who it is. Mr. Cowley comes into the chat room. Mr. Cowley listens to SOR2. That's all I got for tonight, man. Noble Patrick, good to have you here. Thank you. And thank you to everybody for the super chats tonight. We topped out at 200. I know there's a bunch of people dropping out now because the interview is over, but stick around. We do have some creative news. I get a little creative with it at times. And Troy SR71. Oh, yes. I did hear from Sebastian last night, and he was highly apologetic. We have booked him, I believe, for January 11th. We've rescheduled him. He had some family matters that he had to take care of, didn't get a chance, and by the time he was so frustrated with his day, he turned his phone off and fell asleep, woke up past 9 o'clock. Sebastian's a pretty honorable friend and guy. I love him very much, and he apologized to all of you, but we have rescheduled him for January. Yes, we have. So don't you worry there. Don't you worry there. Now, Cammy, Hallmark Cammy, we need to know, is Hallmark Corey watching the show, or is he currently watching the Hallmark channel with the volume down and kind of half listening to us? We do need to know. We do. This is a young man who literally, instead of going out to the bars or maybe going on a date, maybe going to look for Bigfoot, no, he is literally sitting at home in a bubble bath with rose petals watching the Hallmark channel. He's hauled the television into the main bathroom. Yeah, Greg, you noticed that too? You noticed that too, that every main character on the Hallmark channel is a journalist? I have totally saw that. Totally saw that. Hey, Nate, you shouldn't be laughing. That's your kid, man. Hallmark Nate, that's your kid. Dude, you're an ex-powerlifter. You got to smack him for that. Hold on, what does Cammy say? You're on the big screen, so unfortunately he has to watch this instead of the bath and rose petals. Sure. I'm not buying it. Not fucking buying it at all. No. Oh, pardon me. You're not graduated yet. I shouldn't be swearing. Pardon me. Oh, but then again, you're dating a hockey player, so yes, you are used to that language. I also heard that Hallmark Nate and Hallmark Corey, they eat breakfast for dinner 3 to 5 times a week. 3 to 5 times a week. Can't trust them. Can't trust them. You know? I don't want a donut. Filth, do I look like I really need another donut in my life? Look at me. All right. We got 10 seconds before we're going to roll here. I'll just turn that up. Here we go. Third, we're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate you turning off the Hallmark channel to tune into us, where you get to the weird and strange. My name is Dave Scott. Appreciate you being here. Want to remind you, we are very close to 10,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. So when you go check out our free archives, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. We'd appreciate it. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including Rockin' Out to Bumblefoot, reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, and so much more. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Speaking of the news, let's do this thing. Let's get it going. Is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and sometimes the Christmassy. You know, there are 250 dogs on Scott Arnold's U.S. Postal Service route, and every year he gives each one a personalized Christmas stocking that has their name on it, dog treats, and a note from Santa. But for the first time in a quarter century, Arnold thought he might skip it this year. He knew that the families in the 22101 zip code of McLean, Virginia, would have understood. Arnold is 66, lost his adult son Jason in May of unknown causes just before his 37th birthday. Arnold said that an outpouring of love and support from hundreds of his longtime customers helped fuel him through a difficult year, but he wondered whether he had the energy to make and deliver hundreds of stockings. It's been an exhausting year, and the holidays are especially difficult, Arnold stated. He's delivered mail for 38 years. Then Arnold thought about how much his son had loved dogs, and he knew he had to continue the tradition of what he calls Santa Paws. I decided that doing the socks this year would be a good distraction from the sadness and would be a nice way to honor my son, said Arnold, explaining that his daughter's black lab Cash had recently died of cancer as well. The socks have meant a lot to people over the years, so in November he started making more than 250 miniature Christmas stockings decorated with Santas and snowmen. He pulled out his red and green fabric, sat down at his table to carefully personalize each one. Rocky, Finnegan, Tesla. He began until he had written one for each pooch he has come to know and love in his town. This charming yet time-consuming tradition started in the late 90s, where he had realized he had been asking each dog on his route, "What are you going to get for Christmas?" The first year I gave socks to 40 dogs. Then it really caught fire. Now I have 250 plus. I know all of their names, and they know mine too. I think they know me better than their owners sometimes. As he does every year, Arnold stuffed each stocking with dog treats and then added a few extras, photos of his dog Milo, his grandsons Jackson and Luke, and a special Christmas newsletter. Another holiday season is upon us, though this one is quite different than any other, Arnold wrote. We will begin, as always, welcoming the new members of our ever-growing pack. After listing all of the new dogs in the neighborhood, Teddy, Daisy, Biscuit, Lula, etc., he mentioned those who had moved away, Molly, Rosie, Zeus, and Monty, then paid tribute to all the dogs who had crossed that rainbow bridge. A really rough year, Arnold wrote after listing 18 names, including those of Luna, Max, Bubba, and Saint. Let's offer a moment of bark-free silence in their memory. On the other side of the letter, he thanked the people on his route for their support and kindness during the worst year he could remember. The outpouring of the caring and compassion from all that was incredible and appreciated, Arnold wrote. It helped so much and continues to help. When he began delivering the socks about 2 weeks ago, he discovered it was good therapy. I'm so glad that I didn't deprive the families and their dogs, he said. They look forward to the socks every year. We're all feeling overwhelmed because of the pandemic, and this was something positive that I could do. This is a real caring man. Real caring man. That is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Wow. I'm actually blown away by that. I don't pre-read these. I really don't. That one hits the feels right there, doesn't it? Yeah, I thought so too. Now, I don't know if you saw this video, but I can tell you, I never want to stand behind a constipated elephant, especially when it's getting an enema. Ugh. Well, you might think it's the ideal job for anyone who loves hanging out with animals, but a vet isn't always what it's cracked up to be. If you're still unsure, though, you want to be a veterinarian, just check out this video which happened to Dr. Tom when he was sent to treat a constipated elephant named Lana at the Elephant Nature Park in Thailand. Yes. So, if you know how an enema works, you got to put a hose up there for an elephant. And then it fills up and fills up and fills up. Well, they were wearing raincoats when the explosion happened. One person is holding on to the elephant's tail while the veterinarian works in there. And what happens? Sploosh. It shoots out right over Dr. Tom's head and face, covering him in elephant excrement. Yeah, the sizable mammal was suffering from a severe case of blockage, which can be fatal if it's left untreated. Wasn't drinking enough water, apparently. So Dr. Tom came to the rescue, removing a huge portion of poo trapped inside the anus. The floodgates opened, and the caring vet was hit square in the face by a yellowish deluge. This is horrible. The humanity. The hilarious, but also quite awful clip was shared on Instagram and social media, been seen thousands of times. But the horrific sight may have praised Dr. Tom for doing his part in removing the duty in Dear Lana the elephant. Yes, one person commenting on the video said, "That's a rough day at work, but so important." "Oh, wow. Ha ha ha," another person said. "It's so funny but amazing what you have done to help this beautiful elephant. Well done." A third chimed in, "Love the dedication to the job, doctor." Yes. By the way, the elephant, going to be okay. Going to be okay. So, yes. Don't stand behind a constipated elephant with a hose up its butt ready to explode. That is my advice for you for 2021 as we get even closer. Now, this is horrible. No, this is seriously horrible story. See, my family comes from this area, but I probably have relatives still there that I've never met or would even know if they were relatives or not. But the river running past the Chernobyl nuclear reactor is being dredged to create an inland shipping route, potentially resurfacing radioactive sludge from the 1986 disaster that could contaminate drinking water for 8 million people in Ukraine. Yes, this is a warning from scientists and conservationists. The dredging of the Pripyat began in July, part of an international project to create 2,000 kilometers or 1,240 miles of long waterway linking the Baltic and Black Seas, passing through Poland, Belarus, and Ukraine. The river, which snakes within 2.5 kilometers of the reactor, responsible for the world's worst nuclear disaster, has already been dredged in at least 7 different places, 5 of which are within the 10-kilometer range of the reactor. That's not getting good. Not good at all. This goes against the recommendations of the International Atomic Energy Agency that the Chernobyl exclusion zone should remain undisturbed due to long-lived contamination from the Soviet-era explosion. The tender to dig up 100,000 cubic meters of sediment was won by Ukraine dredging company Sobi, and work started in July this year. Well, the Post says that the waterway is important for improving river transport and trade with neighboring countries, namely Belarus. Yeah, never mind the 8 million people who may have water poisoning. Water poisoning. You know, water is kind of important to living for absolutely everything on this planet. Everything. This is not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. You may harm some people, but the mighty dollar always means more. The people will sacrifice for the mother country. Bad, Ukraine. Bad. And I'm saying that as being a Ukrainian. Horrible decision. Think of the people. Got to be a better way. Got to be a better way. California couple suffering or celebrating, not suffering, celebrating the greatest gift they can imagine over Christmas, a healthy baby, thanks to the kindness, this is a beautiful story, thanks to the kindness of an organ donor living thousands of miles away. Young parents Chad and Aileen Cooper came face-to-face with Michael Speck via Zoom. It was an emotional meeting with the selfless stranger. There are no words that can describe how thankful we are to you, Michael. You saved our son's life, Aileen said on the video call. It's my honor, said Speck. Speck, you see, had donated part of his liver to 10-month-old Jacob Cooper. Jacob was born with biliary atresia, a rare disease of the liver and bile ducts that can be deadly. Your son is born with an issue, and then somebody from across the country you have never met shows up and saves his life, said Dad Chad. Dr. Yuri Genick, who works at the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles where Jacob had his surgery, said the baby needed a liver transplant to survive. He was getting progressively sicker. He was hospitalized with infection prior to the transplant and critically ill. Jacob's dad immediately volunteered to be a donor, but testing revealed a diagnosis of his own. In the CT scan and MRI, we found a mass near your pelvis, and this needs to be seen right away, he recalled the doctors telling him. Feeling helpless, Chad and Aileen, both unsuitable as donors, doctors began to search for another live donor. They found one weeks later in Ohio, 64-year-old Michael Speck. Speck is both a father and a grandfather and was already an organ donor, having previously given a kidney to a minister years earlier. The surgeon told me it was a little 10-month-old baby boy, Speck said. When I found that out, I burst out crying. I think we all would. In October, the middle of the coronavirus pandemic, Speck traveled to Los Angeles for the transplant, and thank God, it was a complete success. Speck now hopes other people follow his example. There are so many people out there that could do the same thing I did, he said. Speaking to Chad and Aileen Cooper on Zoom, Speck said to be able to donate to a child, it's a miracle. Aileen and Chad told Speck that he was their miracle. Beautiful, beautiful story. Are you an organ donor, by the way? Are you? I am. It's a good thing to do, people. It's a good thing to do. If you're not an organ donor, that is something that you might want to think about doing if you have the ability to do so. We can help people on it, and we keep going. Remember that Delta Airlines plane that taxied to the runway at LaGuardia this past Monday, and a flight attendant saw a man and a woman walking through the aisle? I need to get off the plane. I don't want to sit here. I'm going to pop the door. So he did. Well, 31-year-old Antonio Murdoch was seen in court. Yeah. We knew this was coming. He left Queens Criminal Court. He's charged with criminal mischief and reckless endangerment. Murdoch says, I just want to see my fiance. I panicked. I have panic issues. I have panic attacks. That's it. I didn't hurt anybody. I have mental health issues. During the arraignment, the flight attendant said there was no situation on the plane that necessitated Murdoch to open the emergency door. Jubril Olandrian, an attorney for Murdoch, provided no comment to the media. And, you know, Casey Johnson, a Manhattan resident flying home to his family in Panama Beach, Florida, said he switched seats with the couple and their dog at the gate. The dog is a 60-pound service animal, greyhound named Rain. Johnson said the couple was pleasant. Nothing appeared out of the ordinary. He said the man, identified by authorities as Murdoch, was soft-spoken. Murdoch asked to switch rows with Johnson, he said, so that he could have the seat aisle of the plane to accommodate their dog. The plane was mostly full, except for the middle seats left open in line with Delta's corona policy. Anyways, he'll be back in court next year. See what happens there. I don't know about this one. I know he's an ex-con, okay? Says he has PST for being in jail. But I don't know about this one. Seems to be more to it. Octopuses might be squishy, but they aren't no suckers. and they won't stand afloat by a fish while fish miss with their food. New research reveals that the octopuses in the Red Sea have developed a so-called partner control mechanism for dealing with fish that annoy them while they hunt. The octopus will literally sucker punch the fish. Videos captured by the research team in Israel and Egypt show several cases of octopi lashing out to drive off various species of fish. The gesture resembles a punch, though it's more of a directed explosive arm movement because they don't have hands. Wouldn't that be more like whipping? Anyways, octopuses and fish are known to hunt together, and their skills complement each other when they are combing the sea bottom for food, according to lead study author Eduardo Sampaio. However, when the best partnerships trigger the occasional disagreement, the octopuses in the Red Sea, well, they go all UFC, and they are the first to throw a punch. Since multiple partners join, this creates a complex network. Investment and payoff can be unbalanced, giving rise to partner control mechanisms. In other words, an octopus will punch a fish in the face when the hunting duties are unfair or whenever he just feels it's necessary. Great. Octopuses are now the cats of the sea. Scary one here. Holy cow. Police and a bomb squad responded to a river on the outskirts of a British city after a magnet fisherman reeled in 19 World War II era grenades from the body of water. Shay Williams said he was using his magnet to search for metal debris in the River Tame at a location outside of Birmingham when he pulled the first grenade out of the water. Williams said he remained in the same spot and pulled up 19 more, which appear to be dated from World War II. The magnet fisherman noticed the 2 grenades still had their pins in place when leading them to contact police. Police evacuated the area, and an explosive ordnance disposal unit arrived at the scene to investigate the grenades. Wow, that is kind of scary, to be honest. Anyways, Williams says he was disappointed to learn the bomb squad would be destroying the grenades due to the policy for such discoveries. Okay, by the way, they determined through X-ray on devices that they did not contain any explosives or detonators. Should have let the kid have a grenade. Why not? No explosives in it. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. Literally, is a simple question. Really is. If you could, what is it here? Oh, goodness. I got the wrong one. Son of a gun. Well, this is totally unprepared. Unprofessional. Totally unprofessional. Hold on. We'll get to it here. We'll get to it. Where did I put that thing? Oh, yeah. What do you think the Dogman creature is? Matt. Cable guy Matt. He says, it's a half dog, half man, Dave. Gee, thanks, cable guy Matt. Kevin. The result of stag prom attendees and coyotes that found their stashes of beer in the field. Alex. The Dogman is proof that we need to look past semantics. Reverend Keith. It's a bad mother. Shut your mouth, Reverend Keith. Just quoting a song. No judgment. Scott. The next late night talk show host? Could very well be. Lord knows Jimmy Kimmel is not funny. Gregory. Someone mentioned it might be a hairless bear, otherwise maybe an overactive imagination. I really don't know. Nate Foot, taking time out of watching the Hallmark Channel to tune into the show. Some kind of relic bastard offspring of the Nephilim. Just a guess. It's a good guess. Lori. Throughout history, there has been or still a race of dog people that was said look like very large dogs, walk like humans, and even said to wear clothes. Of these said dog people could understand human speech but could not speak as a human and would use other means of communication. They were also skillful craftsmen of metals and such, and they were skillful traders. Then you have the Anubis. Was it another race of dog people of a flight of fancy? Who knows? but I do know that there have been sightings of such a creature around me, and I've seen signs and have heard the god-awful cries, and it will set off your alarm bells to get to safety. Too dangerous of an apex predator to be pissing off. Hayden. I'm between theories. Possibly genetic lab experiment gone wrong, hybrid lycanthropy, but someone who cannot fully shift so they can only get half shifted into a wolf, or just another creature yet officially acknowledged or discovered. Bill, one of King's X's best albums. Look, Bill, come on. You know, I saw King's X in concert back in 1992, opening up for AC/DC. They got booed off the stage. They were terrible. Horrible. Horrible bad. Tom, I'll tell you what. I spent the better part of a year studying Dogman, and nobody knows. Even the highest Indian shamans don't know. Jim, a demonic humanoid werewolf hybrid. A manifestation of collective negative thoughts clustered and tangled in the forest. Ooh, that's dark. Carrie, I'm a dog groomer, and I guess my husband would probably qualify as a dog man. After he blow dries a husky or German shepherd, he's got a beard to start with, so the extra dog hairs finish off the look just fine. What does that say about me? Bob, I thought it was a graphic novel character by the guy that wrote Captain Underpants. No joke. Nikki, I've been wondering for a long time, haven't asked the other side yet, if Dogman is somehow extraterrestrial or a large science experiment gone wrong. Finally, Jeanette gets the final word. The explanations are in the book, The Spark. It's what they want. Thank you to everybody participating in the Thought of the Dave. We'll do it all again very, very soon. And, of course, thank you to Joedy Cook for coming on the show, hanging on out with us, talking a little Dogman, because that's always fun, don't you think? I like a good Dogman story. And, of course, Captain Shirk in the SOR Newswire that kept us up to date with some brilliant, brilliant news. Thank you, Captain. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother Is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone listening in our chat rooms, on YouTube, LGAP, Revolution Radio, Spreaker, the Space Travelers Club on our website, YouTube, Twitter, at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Your snarking was beautiful tonight. Thank you. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us. Because together, my friends, say it with me, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot. We need a fighter to fall. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train has docked for the night. But soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, yeah, we got room for them too. Good night. That's a wrap, people. That is a wrap. Good stuff. Good job. We did well tonight. Thank you, Terrible Times, for the super chat. I appreciate that. You guys were awesome tonight. Great job. Great job. Good questions. High quality fanage there. High quality fanage. And I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. The hell couldn't I find my proper thought of the Daves today? Terrible. Terrible. No, that was a good show, though. Completely good show. And, yeah, we'll just download that. That should put us about 200 hour or whatever it is. Fantastic show. Fantastic show. I'm happy about this. I'm happy about this. Hey, Martin, how are you? Sorry, I'm just getting ready here. OT. X. 99. Now let's eliminate that part. That's good enough. So here, why do I have my headphones on? Driving me nuts because I don't need to hear myself. But I can't take them off yet because I'm doing other stuff and it's driving me nuts that my headphones are on. There we go. Oh, that feels good. Oh, that felt good. Felt very good. That's nice. Oh, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Who's hanging out? 151 people. Gorgeous Larry, my buddy Sebastian, who was supposed to come on last night. He's doing okay. I did talk to him. He just has some family matters that kind of caught up with him yesterday. Hey, PNW Sasquatch. Washington State Dogman. I haven't heard any, man. I haven't heard any. But back to Sebastian for a second. Oh, my hair looks good tonight. It really does. Not going to lie. I did not get a haircut, Gil. Nice tacos, Nicole. Yeah, he's doing okay. So yeah. We've rescheduled him for January 11th. Hi, beautiful Kay Kaylee. How are you? Merry Christmas to you. PNW, I do know that there has been dogman sightings in central to northern British Columbia. I think there's also been a couple in Idaho. Maybe not this year, but I do know that. So I'm pretty confident on that. Excuse me. Steam Train Mark, I don't know if it's with James Fox or someone else. There is a good possibility that they might be working on a couple of different projects. You know, there is something kind of really cool that I don't know. Maybe you guys do it or maybe you don't. I don't know. But honestly, in my mind, when I say together, my friends, I honestly think that all of you, like in my head, I honestly think that all of you guys like say we own the night with me. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. But at least that's what I wonder. I like to think that you do. I don't know. Maybe that's an ego thing or whatever. But I like to think that you do. Oh, you made candy. What kind of candy did you make there, Kay Kaylee? We need to know. Hey, Mondak, welcome. Sherry Knight, you're looking beautiful. I do man hugs too. I'm okay to hug. I'm good with that. I also give a really good Baron von Raschke mandible claw. Don't want to mess with that. The other thing that I always wonder about, and I said this a few months ago, because like with the YouTube nicknames, I always tend to wonder if there are actual famous people in our chat room that hide under a nickname. I don't know why, but I always think that. You know, like maybe an athlete or an author or a movie star or a musician or something comes into the chat room and just hangs out and is able to be normal and hang out with and talk some woo with us. I honestly think that is entirely possible, you know. I really do. I do believe that it is totally possible. No. By the way, you will never, ever catch me doing that stupid elbow touching thing that all the politicians fuck up with. You know, I will never do that. Okay? Ever. Hey, TFB, how are you? Welcome. No way, he was a school teacher, Alan? Weird, I never knew that. Yeah. Thanks, Justin. I appreciate it. No, but seriously, like getting back to what I was saying, I do often wonder if there are like some famous people who are in our chat room who really, you know, and I'll never ask. But you know what? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? You know, if you're interested in the topics, I mean, you're more than welcome in here. But I mean, you know, like I've met a number of famous people over the years, and you know, life can be tough for them, you know, because everybody wants to party, everybody wants their attention, everybody wants everything, and you know, those 2-3 minutes they add up, and you just can't be there for everybody at every time. And anyways, but I just often wonder if somebody's in there, you know, I don't know. I just think it would be cool. I'll never ask, but I think it would be like totally cool. Somebody hanging out with us who has like, I don't know, whatever. If it was an actor or actress, I'd probably be like, who are you? Oh, I'm so not famous. So not famous. If I was famous, I wouldn't be editing my own show afterwards. Hey, Dutch. You're Dutch. Very Dutch. Hey, Happy New Year or Christmas Eve to everybody. Happy Christmas Eve. Which reminds me, holy shit. I forgot about this. NORAD Santa Tracker right now. Has he left? No, he's just loading. They're loading the slide. Fuck yeah. God, I love this website. Totally pumps me up. Totally pumps me up. NORADSanta.org. Love it. They are loading up. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because Santa is about to fly away. Oh, God, I love it. I love it. Now I'm pumped up. I will be on NORAD Santa Tracker the entire day tomorrow. Yeah, entire day I will be on NORAD Santa Tracker. So pumped up about it. What gives me the what's up, you famous creeps? How does Dave look tonight? Dave's looking good. Dave's looking good. You know? UFOstalker.com. Why? What's there? Oh, cool. Very cool. There's one on Vancouver Island. That's kind of cool. Hi, Gorgeous Marie. I'm going to go, literally, before I go to bed tonight, I will turn on my television and I will have it on all night just in case my son wakes up and he goes and checks the TV. And that way he can have an up-to-date tracker on it. I think that's friggin' awesome. Hey, Filth, Merry Christmas to you and your family, man. Thank you for the precious gift. I appreciate that. Sent me a couple of autographed pieces of art that he's done. That's just, you're amazing, man. You make us that much better, Filth. Thank you. How do I use this website? Yeah, Santa's preparing, and by 1 in the morning, he will be flying. You have to realize it's still early in Alaska and Hawaii, but he will be flying soon. Just sit there. All of a sudden, it'll start rocking and rolling. And then the videos will start popping up to where he is in the world. Oh, God, it's so exciting. It is so exciting. Get them all? Give me 2 seconds, guys. Boxing Day? I actually looked that up. It's a holiday. It's the day after Christmas. The 26th, Boxing Day. It's a holiday up here. How do I get my prints for shirts and posters to you through mail? Alan, send me an email to dave@spacedoutradio.com or to Corey at bookings@spacedoutradio.com, and it'll get to me, and then I'll get you my address. or that you could send it to. Thank you for thinking of me. Gordon's the booking guy is awesome. Fantastic mustache. See if my daughter will come in here. Nene! Nene! Here! Come on camera with us. Come on, you would if it was Call of Duty. Come say hi to my listeners. I'm going to throw a shoe at you. I'm going to throw a piece of cable for autographed by Cable Guy mad at you. Hey, let's sing for Mr. Cowley before he leaves. Mr. Cowley, heading off to his bed. Oh, Mr. Cowley, he sleeps like he's dead. After SOR, he puts his jammies on and goes good night. I blew it. I'm sorry. I just couldn't get the other one out. It was terrible. Terrible. The first part rocked. I nailed the first part. The second part of that first stanza, lost it. Completely lost it. It's terrible. Where's the cable? I got the cable right here. See? I got these little, like, shooting star type cables. Whap, whap. I could throw two of them at the same time. Hey, Gary, you're Dutch. Just so you know. You're Dutch. By the way, I want to say thank you to Gary for being our one of our pleasant sponsors with Mighty Moose Beard Oil, MightyMooseBeard.com. Don't hold it against him because he's Dutch, okay? My favorite is the Winter Blend. I just got this. Gary's a good guy, and I'll show you how this stuff works. Real nice, actually. You just undo the cap. You give a little squeeze there. All right. Put a few drops in your hand. That's good right there. Put that back so you don't spill. Rub it together in the hands and just massage it into your beard. You know, feels good. Maybe a little in the mustache there. That's it. That's all done. Take care of your beard. Right? That's all you do. And for the ladies out there, because you got some extra grease on your hands here, you know, just rub it through your hair. It's healthy for your hair. So it actually is not just beard oil, it is hair oil as well, and makes your hair look nice and shiny, and make sure that the ends don't split. That's all courtesy of the Dutchman, Gary Vermeer, MightyMooseBeard.com. Make sure you check it on out. I highly recommend it. By the way, it's almost time to get your final verification codes this week, because we do want to make sure you are verified. Type in your 6-digit verification codes now to see if you can guess the proper one. Yeah, the Winter Blend is my favorite, Gary. You hit a home run with that one, man. Smells fantastic, too. By the way, I still haven't sent the package off to Bumblefoot yet. I'm still waiting for t-shirts. Yeah. Great on dry elbows and good for tattoos, too. You might have to rename this from beard oil, man, to super oil. All right, here we go. Put the file in there. I can't believe Sandra guessed early. Wow. My Christmas wish came true. By the way, where is Princess Denali tonight? All right, your verification code for tonight is 029459. 029459. Verify wisely, space travelers. because we really do not want you to go the rest of Christmas unverified. By the way, I will be back on Monday night. I will. Yes, I did find out what happened to Sebastian. He had some family issues that he was dealing with yesterday. It literally drained his cell phone. He was stressed out, took a nap, and woke up at like 11 o'clock or somewhere like that during showtime. Felt horrible. We've rescheduled him for January 11th. He's a good, honest friend, and yeah. Chris Jarvis, no problem, buddy. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. By the way, I'm not a happy holidays kind of guy. I'm a Merry Christmas kind of guy. Okay? I really am. Where's Santa now? Oh, still in the workshop preparing. They're still loading gifts. Come on, you elves. Let's go. Let's get this thing going here. Can't wait for takeoff. Good stuff. Good stuff. I love it, Corey. That's a great t-shirt. Merry Christmas, and I hope it offends you. That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, Gary the Dutch has a good beard. Good, solid beard. It'd be about 4 inches longer if he wasn't Dutch. But his wooden shoes keep wearing off the hair. Just saying. One thing I've learned about Dutchmen over the years, like Gary, he's very proud to show you the first dollar he ever earned. Gary was so proud to learn that my son is like a quarter Dutch. He was so proud. Persevered. Hey, Dave, do you think we are living in the Matrix? Random question? No. No, I do not. I think we are living life as we know it, and I feel fine. I feel fine. Right, where are we here? Close that off. That one's done. Still on number 2. Wow, that's ever. What was my favorite Christmas ever? Oh, goodness. Most emotional was 2017. Favorite Christmas ever. They were all good. You know what? My parents never spoiled me throughout the year. But the one thing that I love about inheriting from my father, I'm the same way with my kids. I don't spoil them during the year. You know, I'm not out every weekend buying them clothes or runners or shoes or whatever. Try and live very basic during the year. But the one thing that I love, and I got this from my parents, is a jam-packed Christmas tree. I wrap everything. I do. Because so many times when you open up gifts on Christmas, it doesn't take that long. So, next thing you know, it's all over and you separate, you go do your things, and there's a big fucking mess, and somebody's got to clean it up, and then you're hungry, you want breakfast, and then, like at the Nate Foot's house there, they all huddle around the fake fireplace on the Hallmark Channel, right? And, yeah. I mean, hey, bonjour, boulet de bleu. Comment ça va? Anyways, so yeah, I wrap everything. Like each pair of socks gets wrapped, and the other thing that I do with my kids is I make sure that we're only allowed to open up one gift at a time, so that way you get to really enjoy the moment. And then, like with my kid, like say for instance they got this phone, I'll like get them to hold up the phone like it's a championship belt, and then we all clap. Just a stupid little tradition that I do. And I hope they enjoy it. It's one of those things. So I love a packed tree. I think like a tree that is overflowing with gifts. I don't know. I'm not about spoiling, but I love it. And that's what I do, and that's what I will continue to do until the day my ticket is called for leaving this planet, man. Yes. It's just like for all my kids, like my oldest is 21, still gets presents from Santa Claus. As long as I'm alive, my children will get gifts from Santa Claus. Just the way it is. Oh, in my house, we love getting socks for Christmas. Yep. So, hey, football cat, what's happening? I love getting underwear and socks for Christmas. I don't care what anybody says. I love it. I'm happy about it. I got 3 pairs of Bigfoot socks, and all 3 pairs have one sock missing. I swear, they've gone missing. 3 pairs of Bigfoot socks. Merry Christmas, Chrismo. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. I agree, TFV. Watching the kids in the morning is awesome. My son has been running and hopping around. This is his first year where he is really, really excited. Really, really pumped up and excited. So I am very excited for him. And my daughters. I bought each of my daughters a pair of Chucks just from me. That's the kind of dad I am. That's the kind of dad I am. Yeah. That is beautiful. 8 kids, 3 grandkids. Beautiful. It's overrated. Oh my goodness. That's funny. Dave, since you're from Canada, are there any ancient stories about ancient aliens existing there in Canada? Or like any cities, forest, archaeological sites? Up north there are. There's a giant dinosaur bone area in Alberta called Drumheller. Same as in Saskatchewan, where they found a lot of T-Rexes. Up north, there's a lot of strange stories, like in the territories. Really strange up there. Including one village that just disappeared. Well, it's that time of the night, guys. Believe it or not, I still have to work in the morning. I have to, thank goodness we're only working until noon tomorrow. But I got a busy day tomorrow in doing what I do during the day. So I apologize. I was going to try and stay up later, but I just hit my wall and I got tired. I want to say thank you to everybody for the super chats tonight. Let's do a quick check here to see where we are before we leave. Go to YouTube Studio. Where are we at? We're at 9,819, which means we need 1,000. Oh, for God's sakes. Why can't I get it? If it was 20, I could get it. We need 181 more. 181 more. I think we can do this. I really do believe we can do this. So, anyhow, I'm going to say goodnight to all of you. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to all of you. Have a blessed holiday. No matter what your beliefs, be kind to each other. Show some love. Reach out to people that you haven't reached out to in a long time, and just tell them that you're in their thought. They're in your thoughts and in your mind. Show some love, not hate. And Merry Christmas to you all. Love you all dearly, and be good to each other. And Merry Christmas. Honestly, I mean that you guys and all, especially the newcomers and everybody who's been with us for years, you guys really have made every night fun for me. And I have an incredible crew from Gail to Corrance, the booking guy, Spookles the cat, Amber, Ashy, Chuck, Filth, who does all of the art, Bob, who introduces me. You know, it's just a great team that we have here at Spaced Out Radio. And, you know, to all of our good friends, and from Science Bob to Nicole Sackage, Grant Cameron, Rich Giordano, R. Keith Andrews, Varla Ventura, David Weatherly. Who am I missing? I'm probably missing Butch Witkowski. Everybody who's been a guest on this show, you made it a lot of fun. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being a part of my life. And I will be back on Monday. And, yeah, we're going to have some fun. And hopefully over the next 4 days, I can figure out how to edit, too. That I'll have time to maybe practice how to edit. Start changing up our channel a little bit more. But I love you. Thank you so much for being great supporters of what we do, sharing it, and doing everything that you do to help make us bigger in every night. It really does help. It really means a lot. And you guys are awesome. So take care. Be well. Be safe over the holidays. Don't drink and drive. And don't smoke dope and drive either, because that's not good either. But, one other thing I want to say is this. I'll probably get in trouble for this, but I'm going to say it. You know what? I know COVID has been horrific this year and everything, but give your loved ones a hug. If they are in your bubble or not in your bubble, you do what you want to do, whatever you want. But give your family a hug. Okay? Seriously. I'm not going to be with my parents this year. They're staying down on the coast near Vancouver, and there's nothing more that I would love to do is give my mom a hug and a kiss. So if you got your family coming up, or whatever you plan on doing for your own routine or everything, give your family a hug. So, what Corey said in the chat room. Much love. You take care. And we'll talk to you on Monday. See you soon. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas.